talking about
Well, I
weekend.
didn't see you yesterday,
Yes.
so I can still, it's valid to ask you
Yeah.
about your weekend.
Yep.
But hope you guys had a good one, because I
did, we
certainly did. It was nice and relaxing, but it's time to get right back into it. We do have lots of news and updates for you here today on the 3-hour news show, so we do hope that you stay with us for the next 180 minutes. In the meantime, you can stay connected with us by following all our social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at C Today News. And also with us is Maria. Today, she's going to bring us the latest from the business world.
Yes, thank you, Paul. I'm Maria Harfanti. We'll take a look at market and business updates from the country, the region, and elsewhere around the world. But first, let's take a look at what made the top stories for today.
South Korea's police chief on Tuesday admitted a heavy responsibility for failing to prevent the Halloween crowd surge in Seoul that left more than 150 people dead.
In business segment, we had the privilege of chatting with Telkom Indonesia's President Director about Telkom digital transformation as the pandemic has forced all sectors to adapt in digitalization.
And from sports, Drew Holiday scored 25 points along with 10 assists as the Milwaukee Bucks narrowly defeated the Detroit Pistons 110-108 on Monday night to remain undefeated on the season.
And later in our signature segment, See the Stories, we'll have with us a maestro of Indonesian pantomime, Septian Dwi Cahyo. So stay tuned for that.
All right, let's get right into world news. Obviously, we've been following the story very intensely over the past several days, and the latest update is South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol paid his respects on Tuesday at a makeshift memorial near the site of a deadly crowd surge in Seoul.
Yoon placed flowers and bowed deeply at the memorial near the site of the disaster. More than 150 people, including 26 foreigners, died during Halloween festivities in the South Korean capital on Saturday. Still from South Korea, mourners paid their respects on Tuesday at a makeshift memorial near the site of deadly crowd surge in Seoul.
More than 150 people, including 26 foreigners, were killed during Halloween festivities in the South Korean capital on Saturday. People placed flowers and bowed deeply at the memorial near the location of the disaster. Other mourners were also seen grieving the victims at another memorial in Seoul Plaza.
On Sunday, President Yoon Suk-yeol declared one-week national mourning period and ordered flags at government buildings and public offices to fly at half-staff. Saturday's crowd surge was concentrated in a sloped, narrow alley in a popular nightlife district in Seoul, the Itaewon neighborhood.
Meanwhile, South Korea's police chief on Tuesday admitted a heavy responsibility for failing to prevent the Halloween crowd surge in Seoul that left more than 150 people dead.
Yoon Hee-kyun said officers did not effectively handle warnings through emergency calls about overcrowding in the popular nightlife neighborhood, the Itaewon district.
He said that an initial investigation had found that there had been many urgent calls by citizens notifying authorities about the potential for disaster on Saturday night. However, officers who received those calls did not respond to them in a satisfactory manner.
The police chief added that an internal investigation would probe deeper into the officers' handling of the emergency calls and other issues such as their on-the-spot response to the crowd surge. The government faces growing public scrutiny over whether the crowd surge could have been prevented and who should take the responsibility.
이번 사고를 지켜보면서 큰 충격을 받으셨을 국민들께도 관계기관장의 한 사람으로서 무거운 책임감을 느낍니다. 이번 사고를 통해 국민 안전에 대한 무한 책임을 다시 한번 통감하면서 앞으로 이와 같은 비극적인 일이 다시는 발생하지 않도록 최선을 다하겠습니다. 저희 경찰은 사고가 발생한 직후부터 진상을 명백히 밝히기 위해 사실관계를 확인하고 수사를 진행하고 있습니다. 이 과정에서 사고가 발생하기 직전에 현장의 심각성을 알리는 112 신고가 다수 있었던 것을 확인하였습니다. 신고 내용을 보면 사고 발생 이전부터 많은 군중이 몰려 사고의 위험성을 알리는 급박한 내용들이었습니다. 그럼에도 불구하고 112 신고를 처리하는 현장의 대응은 미흡했다는 판단을 했습니다.
Right, so obviously this is still not clear. Investigations continue to be underway as to why. If you look at the overhead shot of that particular road, it actually intersects from three directions. And they drew arrows as to which way the foot traffic was flowing. And they were all flowing in the same direction, which leads you to wonder what was it that was causing everything to be congested into this one central spot. Some have speculated, did they see someone famous and everybody was just rushing there? But again, those are just rumors. Nothing has been proven so far. The unfortunate part is those people that got stuck within that intersection had no way out. There was basically no release valve. It's like when you see crowds build up. And again, it leads me to wonder, we've reported on Kanjuruhan tragedy in Malang, the football stadium.
Yeah.
Now this, is it, and it's not the only incidences. We've seen incidences like Travis Scott's Astroworld concert near the end of the first year of the pandemic when people were allowed to go out again. And I think there's this certain kind of release that people have of being perhaps locked up for a year or two and then they just want to go out and perhaps not being too aware of their surroundings. But again, something had to cause this and it's still unclear as to why. There was also a singer and actor, Lee Ji-han, who was among the 153 that died. He was just 24 years old. He was a rising star in Korea. He was part of Produce 101, one of the 101 K-pop performers who were trying to form an 11-member boy band. He became an actor. He just took a couple of acting roles. Now, again, there's so many others that lost their lives in this as well. And President Yoon Suk-yeol declared the national mourning period until November the 5th. You know, they say the show must go on. Well, not in this case because K-pop releases, events have all been canceled and rescheduled in the wake of this horrible tragedy.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, as Seoul itself, they had this quite the same thing in 2014. And probably it was supposedly as a learning process or learning moment for them to prevent things like this happen. But as you mentioned, Paul, nobody knew that the crowd would come to a certain direction, probably at the same place. And even the number of policemen this year have been increased, actually, to 137. But they're not specifically the crowd management police. So they're doing something else like drug control or things like that. So nobody knew that something like this would happen. And President Yoon himself, he vowed all efforts following the tragic Search disaster to come up with the measures on crowd management to prevent recurrence in the future. And President Yoon also canceled his interview, instead presided over a cabinet meeting. So this is very, very serious. And it happened at the presidential office in Yongsan this morning, actually, Tuesday morning. So we're going to see, hopefully this doesn't happen again in the future. As I mentioned at the beginning, it looks like a very, dark October that we had, just yesterday. That's
From our country and then
October.
Korea and then just yesterday, India.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so we leave South Korea for now and let's move to India. People lit candles outside a hospital in Morbi on Monday evening as they paid tribute to those who died after a suspension bridge collapsed in one of India's worst accidents in years.
The collapse on Sunday evening in Gujarat state plunged hundreds of people into a river, killing at least 134.
Officials said that police in western India arrested 9 people on Monday as they investigated the collapse of the newly repaired 143-year-old bridge. Police said that at least 134 people were confirmed dead and many others were admitted to hospitals in critical condition. Emergency responders and rescuers worked overnight and throughout Monday to search for survivors.
State Minister Harsh Sanghvi said that most of the victims were teenagers, women, and elders. An Information Department official in Gujarat said that at least 177 survivors were pulled from the river. It remains unclear how many people were actually on the bridge when it collapsed and how many still remain missing. However, survivors said it was so densely packed that people were unable to quickly escape when its cables began to snap.
As families mourn the dead, attention turned to why the pedestrian bridge, built during British colonialism in the late 1800s and considered by the state's tourism website as an artistic and technological marvel, collapsed, and who might be responsible. The bridge had also reopened just 4 days earlier. Inspector General Ashok Yadav said that police have formed a special investigative team and that those arrested include managers of the bridge's operator, Oreva Group, and its staff. Gujarat authorities open a case against Oreva for suspected culpable homicide, attempted culpable homicide, and other violations.
Meanwhile, members of the opposition Indian National Congress Party have called for the resignation of the Chief Minister of Gujarat State in the wake of the deadly bridge collapse. They have also gathered in the capital city of New Delhi on Monday to light candles in honor of the victims and to demand officials to be held accountable for this disaster. Yeah, so very unique and odd incident to happen. Again, it's been around for decades. It was built in the 1900s. It's called a Morbi Suspension Bridge. Yeah. It's 230 meters long and about 4 feet wide. Now, it was closed for 6 months, starting in April for renovations. This is according to the managing director of Oreva, which is actually a Gujarat-based electrical appliances manufacturer that saw the maintenance work. So 26th of October, you mentioned, it was just reopened about 4 days ago. The director told reporters the structure would not need any major work for, quote, 8 to 10 years. Any sort of work, any sort of even light renovation. So since the deadly incident, obviously public scrutiny turns to Oreva. It's located in Ahmedabad, and it started out as a clockmaker before diversifying into electronics. This is according to their website. They describe the firm as the world's largest clock manufacturing company and one of the major brands in India. Now, obviously, they're being investigated. 9 people have been arrested, as you mentioned, Maria, all for culpable homicide charges. 2 managers, 2 ticket clerks, 2 contractors, 3 security guards. This is according to the senior police officer, Ashok Kumar Yadav. Now, it leads you to wonder, this is not supposed to happen, especially as soon as they reopen. Obviously, could not handle the weight. There was about 200 people that, approximately that was plunged into the river when this happened. And it was so unfortunate, of course. Diwali just passed. A lot of them were kids and women. But again, people right away think to corruption in a situation like this. Were the proper materials used? Was the proper safety checks done and things of that sort? So again, it's still very early, but obviously investigations will let us know more. In the meantime, let's move on to other news here from elsewhere around the world as truckers in support of Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro blocked the main highway linking Sao Paulo to Rio de Janeiro on Monday in a protest against the election victory of former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva.
They parked dozens of vehicles along the Dutra Road in a demonstration that aimed to show their dissatisfaction with those results in Latin America's largest democracy.
Bolsonaro's rival, former presidential and left-leaning ex-union leader Da Silva, had won a runoff vote on Sunday night, with 50.9% of the votes to Bolsonaro's 49.1%. Nearly a full day after Bolsonaro lost his bid for reflection, the usually brash right-wing leader had neither conceded defeat nor challenged the results of the country's closest political contest in more than 3 decades.
Bolsonaro has not spoken a word to reporters camped outside the official residence or the supporters who regularly gather nearby. He has also not posted on his otherwise prolific social media platforms.
A gente não concorda com a decisão eleitoral. A gente está fazendo uma manifestação pacífica aqui para ver se a gente consegue reverter esse quadro aí. A gente não concorda com isso, a gente acha que não dá certo cara que saiu da cadeia e governa o país. Eu não concordo com isso.
From Brazil, now we're flying to China, where it launched the Mengtian Space Station Lab module on Monday afternoon from the Wenchang spacecraft launch site on the coast of the southern island province of Hainan.
Flying to China, I see what you did there. So the Long March 5B Y4 carrier rocket carrying Mengtian blasted off from the site at 3:37 p.m. local time on Monday.
Wentian, the second lab module of China's space station, is said to be one of the country's most cutting-edge physics laboratories with sophisticated devices that enable an array of science experiments in frontier sectors. The space station has 2 lab modules designed for space scientific research. The first one is named Wentian, which mainly covers life science experiments. The newly launched Mengtian Lab will be used for studying microgravity. It is equipped with 8 cabinets to support experiments on physics of fluids, material science, combustion science, and basic physics.
高冷原子物理实验柜呢，我们主要是支持这种基础物理的研究，还有这个凝聚态物理。它这个可以达到我们我们是绝对零度嘛，就是我们的-273摄氏度。另外就是说我们的高温材料科学实验柜呢，是做这个空间材料，这方面的研究。
The lab also has a space-based cold atomic clock system, with an error of only 1 second in up to billion of years.
Now we're moving to Indonesia. The heroic of East Nusa Tenggara Governor Victor Ruangtilu Laiskodat was caught on a camera when he attempted to evacuate a man along with his 2 children who were in a car trapped in the middle of the river.
All this happened when the governor was on his way home from a working visit in South Timur Tengah Regency.
Laiskodat, who was arriving at the Oelafenu River with his entourage, saw a car trapped in the middle of the river before it started to be dragged by flash floods. There were 3 passengers in the car, namely a man and his 2 children. The heavy current prompted the governor to get out of his car and helped the family. The rescue attempt was done manually with makeshift equipment.
A number of the governor's adjutants that tried to help the passengers trapped in the vehicle were almost washed away by the heavy current. Laiskodat, his entourage, and a number of locals all tied the car to a tree trunk and a truck parked at the riverbank to prevent the stuck vehicle from being washed away by the current.
The dramatic rescue lasted for 2 hours until the passenger and his children were all brought to safety. Previously, the governor himself and his entourage were also trapped in a flash flood brought by constant heavy rain in South Timur Tengah Regency.
Unavailable alternative routes forced the governor's entourage to pass through heavy flash flood currents.
I mean, something like that shouldn't be called just as a heroic for, making a good image on himself. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Very
truly
exemplary.
Quick reaction.
Yeah, it is a quick reaction, and it's a response to, looking at people who really needed help. And he also put himself at risk at that,
Yes,
at
he
that
acted
point,
on
right?
it,
Yeah.
obviously.
And please don't take floods lightly. We're so used to it sometimes that we think, oh, it's flooding,
Yeah.
it means there's going to be traffic.
Yep.
When a flash flood happens, you can easily get swept away because it can pull cars away. Then
In a
people
flash.
Yeah, exactly. It's really scary stuff.
That's true. All right, now we're going for our first quick break. But when we come back, we'll have the latest from Southeast Asia and around the world.
That's right. And later during the hour, I'll bring you the latest from the world of business.
Stay with us right here on the 3-Hour News Show on See Today. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Share with us and see today it's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game on the 2022 IBL semifinals with the West Bandits Solo at Gor Citra Arena Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day. Hey, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk with me, Paul Palelli. Let's say hello to Bibo and the Buds. Hey, guys! Oh, this is your assistant, Trey.
Hi, my name is Pelita.
For us, going like solo right now is like a refreshing.
I'm actually not good at acting because I'm too real.
Well, it's time for another Buddy Challenge. It's the only word I know.
Siapa sejak dini untuk masa depan. Awas ini sangat
visioner, bukan visi misi. Kalau visi misi, visi foya, visi misi, foya. Oh, digambar cakep, Sel.
Digambar ya lumayan.
Tapi
lumayan jelek.
What makes a new place feel like home? I always believe it's about the people and the community.
I love the tomato sauce. This is what I always say, the dish of the
And food often the best way to connect them all.
Ooh, this one really good.
Restaurants, for me, is the beating heart of a city. That is why I love exploring new places. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on Sea Indonesia.
This is me crying out loud, whatever. Whoa, look at this. My shoes, guys.
On football's greatest stage, the gods of the game have earned their encore. Pelé, Beckenbauer, Cruyff, Maradona. It's the cup of hope. The cup of dreams. It's football's biggest prize on the greatest stage of all.
Welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show. Now we begin our segment with the news from Thailand, where Halloween celebrations returned to Bangkok's famous Khao San Road as tourism resumed following an end to prolonged COVID-19 travel restrictions.
The Khao San Halloween 2022 party fantasy along the road will proceed as planned with extra safety measures, according to the Khao San Business Operators Association and the Bangkok governor.
The Khao San Road is about 400 meters long, and the 2-lane road is lined on both sides with shops, food and vending stalls. It is also crowded with pedestrians at night. Khao San Business Operators Association President Sangaruang Watanakul said that Khao San Road accommodated about 50,000 people during the Songkran festival. He assured the public that all of the stalls on the road would be removed immediately following the festivities to prevent them from blocking pedestrian access.
Meanwhile, Bangkok Governor Chadchart Sittipunt said that he had instructed authorities to increase safety measures at Khao San Road and Silam Soi 2, where Halloween parties were to be held. He added that the city administration has reviewed safety measures for other festivities as well, such as at Loi Kratong at Ong Ang Canal, where many locals and tourists are expected.
It seems like after, almost 3 years of COVID restrictions, everybody was just so excited to have this Halloween this year, celebrated, pouring into streets and all that.
Here. I love Halloween.
Yeah.
Getting dressed up.
Even Saudi Arabia did it for the first time this year, right?
Yeah, a lot of fun.
So the festival of Halloween is increasingly celebrated around the world.
And in Manila, Halloween meets cosplay at an event celebrating a fusion of cultures that allows children of all ages to indulge in dressing up in scary costume. Let's have a look.
Cosplay is popular in Asia and growing in popularity around the world. The festival of Halloween has its roots in a blend of pagan and Christian traditions in Ireland and Scotland. Immigrants took the traditions to the United States and it has spread around the world. In Manila, cosplay blends with Halloween in a new fusion of cultures at the Ozin Fest Halloween Special. Cosplayers are dressed as their favorite characters, from Jack Skellington to superheroes and anime. The annual Halloween convention is back after being postponed for 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Among the excited crowd of over 100 fans of TV shows, movies and video games is 53-year-old toy collector and World Wrestling Entertainment or WWE cosplayer Eduardo Pampilon.
Una, to collect toys. Tapos pangalawa, yung to dress up as my favorite character. Yun. And then, mapapasaya yung mga bata at mga batang isip.
The Ozinfest organizers have been hosting numerous cosplay conventions for over a decade, with mostly teenagers and adults in attendance. Their Halloween events attract a wider market that includes children and their families.
Target namin kasi today is to have like more scarier costumes. So yung iba, ang galing nga nila, nag-improvise sila to have their characters be scary kahit di naman talaga ganun yung supposed na itsura ng character. So marami akong nakikita, and the fun part is hindi lang siya basta enclosed doon sa mga usual na pumupunta sa cons namin. Nakakita ko ng mga bata, like talagang hindi naman sila aware dito, pero nakakatawa kasi nagtitrick or treat sila, pinupuntahan nila yung mga booth, nagbibigay ng candy.
Attendants say that it is important to return to normality after the pandemic restrictions of recent years.
Well, isn't Halloween the original cosplay to begin with? Before people started doing cosplay, there was Halloween. But now people have cosplay all year round. And I think it fits perfectly because people are getting more and more intricate with their costumes, so much detail.
Well, we did something yesterday in the studio.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what were you dressed as?
I was dressed as Ibu from Pangasinan.
Ooh, wow,
Yeah,
scary. Did you
I
scare
was
yourself?
scared. Yeah, I did.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't get to dress up this year, but I dressed my kids up, so at least they were happy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's move on to back to Indonesia for our next story. As former Internal Security Bureau head of the Profession and Security Division, Brigadier General Hendra Kurniawan was dishonorably discharged from the Indonesian National Police.
The Code of Ethics trial was held after it was postponed 3 times.
Public Relations Division Head Inspector General Dedi Prasetyo said that the Code of Ethics trial was held for 10 hours and featured 17 witnesses. The trial, which was led by General Supervision Deputy Inspector General Torna Gogosi Hombing, came to 3 conclusions. Hendra was proven to have committed misconduct and was detained for 29 days. He was then dishonorably discharged from the Indonesian police.
Hendra's trial was postponed 3 times after he fell ill. Meanwhile, a total of 35 personnel have violated the Code of Ethics, and 20 of them were previously on trial. 2 of the 7 obstruction of justice case suspects, namely Senior Inspector Irfan Widianto and Adjunct Senior Commissioner Arif Rahman, have yet to attend the Code of Ethics trial.
Sudah dilaksanakan pelaksanaan sidang HK. Ya, dipimpin langsung oleh Wairwasum sebagai pimpinan sidang komisi. Dari pelaksanaan sidang komisi, hakim mengambil suatu keputusan secara kolektif kolegial. Artinya bahwa dari kelima hakim sidang komisi kode etik memutuskan 3 hal. Yang pertama, terbukti bahwa perbuatan yang bersangkutan adalah perbuatan tercela. Yang kemudian sanksi yang kedua adalah yang bersangkutan ditempatkan di tempat khusus selama 29 hari. Dan itu sudah dilaksanakan. Yang ketiga, keputusan dari sidang komisi kode etik yang bersangkutan di PTDH diberhentikan dengan tidak hormat dalam dinas kepolisian. Jadi itu yang bisa saya sampaikan kepada teman-teman terkait pelaksanaan sidang kode etik Saudara HK yang dilaksanakan pada hari ini.
Still from Indonesia, the trial in the premeditated murder of Brigadier Joshua with Ferdy Sambo and Putri Chandrawati as the defendants continue at the South Jakarta District Court. Today's hearing sees Joshua's father, Samuel Huta Barat, and his mother, Rosti Simanjuntak, giving their testimonies.
Now, this also marks the first time for the victim's family to meet Ferdy Sambo and Putri Chandrawati after their son was murdered at the Internal Affairs Division Chief's official residence in Duren 3, South Jakarta last July.
The lawyer for Joshua's family, Kamarudin Simanjuntak, said that the family was ready to attend the trial and give their testimonies. The lawyer brought a pair of blood-stained sandals that allegedly belonged to Joshua, which he will present to the court.
The sandals were obtained from his party's investigation. The items should have been seized by police investigators, but were instead sent to his residence at Sungay Bahar in Jambi.
Persiapannya kita hari ini bawa BB yang masih berdarah-darah.
Oke. Termasuk ini yang sendal yang kemarin yang dibilang atau gimana?
Ini barang buktinya nih lagi kita bawa nih. Jadi karena selama ini kan penyidik nggak pernah kooperatif, kita tanya ini barang bukti di mana nggak mau, kasih tahu ini kita cari nih. Inilah yang diduga dipakai oleh almarhum pada saat pembantaian. Jadi barang bukti yang masih berdarah-darah ya. Barang bukti ini harusnya disita oleh polisi atau penyidik Gedung Polri, tapi karena mereka dari awal tidak kooperatif dengan kita, jadi kita kerja sendiri. Jadi barang-barang bukti ini nanti kita serahkan ke hakim atau ke jaksa di hadapan hakim.
Barang bukti ini dapat dari mana, Bang?
Hah?
Dari mana dapatnya?
Barang bukti ini setelah dicuci diduga oleh Putri Chandrawati atau asisten rumah tangganya dikirim ke Sungai Bahar. Padahal kita cari-cari terus ini. Barang bukti ini terrecord di 1549 CCTV. Ketika dia di waktu yang sama pakai sepatu dan pakai sendal di CCTV rekayasa itu.
And to find out more about this ongoing trial, we're now going to connect with our reporter and video journalists who are on location at the South Jakarta District Court, Aris Satya and Anita Putri. Aris, what have you got?
Yeah, okay, thank you, Paul. So the Brigadier Joshua murder case trial today continues in the Jakarta Selatan District Court, and for today the court actually held two agenda. But first, let's talk about the most absorbing attention agenda. The first agenda is Ferdy Sambo and his wife Putri Chandrawati that are summoned to the trial. And in today's trial, Sambo and Chandrawati are confronted with the families of Brigadier Joshua that also summoned to the trial. And actually, this is really interesting, and because this is the first time ever Joshua's family met with Ferdy Sambo and Putri Chandrawati, especially after the death of Brigadier Joshua. And during the trial, the judges on the trial held a hearing of 12 witnesses, not on, that summoned by the prosecutors. And these 12 witnesses are mostly from Brigadier Joshua's family, and the mother and the father, the brother and sister. And besides of that, there is also Brigadier Joshua's family lawyer and also several others. And actually, just like in the information earlier, this morning, father and mother of Brigadier Samuel Huta Barat and Rosti Simanjuntak that already summoned and also of the question. Let's talk about the first session, the Joshua's father. During the trial, Joshua's father told the chronology about how of the first arrival of Brigadier Joshua at the home after the death. So the prosecutor is cross-checking the information that they already received, and then to the witnesses, the father of Brigadier Joshua. And then during the question, the Brigadier Joshua father, he told the prosecutors about how restrictive the police representative that delivered Joshua's body to the family, and the family also do not allow to see Joshua's body properly, which is the coffin is not allowed to open, and they only allowed the body, only the half upper body when the body arrived at their home. And then during the trial, the Brigadier Joshua father also shown the picture of Joshua body when arrived in the families in the front of the judges. And with that pictures, Joshua's father also told the prosecutors he's suspicious about his son's body that have so many suspicious scars and dislocation when the coffin opened. And then he also told the chronology how Hendra Kurniawan, that the police representative that come to his house and telling the chronology how his son's death from Hendra's version, and which is also the version from Ferdy Sambo's scheme. And then when after asking question to father of Brigadier Joshua, the prosecutor then moved to Brigadier Joshua's mother. And this is where everything getting more interesting. When Joshua's mothers are questioned by the prosecutors, she really emotional when answering the prosecutor's questions related to the death of Brigadier Joshua. The question in general are same with father's question, but this is when everything getting more emotional. During the trial, Joshua's mother also talked to Sambo and Chandrawati, and it went really emotional for her. She questioned why Ferdi Sambo dared to kill Joshua, and Joshua's mother also wondered why Sambo can be so sadistic to kill his son. In addition to that, she also demanded to Joshua's name to be cleared and recover from the accusation that brings to death of his son. And then after a question, the mother of Brigadier Joshua and father, the trial take a break and then continues to another witnesses. But back to the Putri Chandrawati and Ferdi Sambo that talk with mother of Brigadier Joshua. After Brigadier Joshua mother's talk to the Ferdi Sambo and Putri Chandrawati and Ferdi Sambo actually also give permission by the judges to respond. The response are same, both of them asking apology from Brigadier Joshua's family, especially for the parents. And then they told Brigadier Joshua's parents they will follow the process during the trial. And besides the parent, the court also summoned Brigadier Joshua relative and also the girlfriend of Brigadier Joshua, Vera Simanjuntak, and still the same in general. The question about how they receive information about the chronology, how they receive the information about the Brigadier Joshua that. And currently the trial is still ongoing right now. And from the schedule, actually 12 persons that will be questioned today, and 4 witnesses already summoned and already questioned. And right now there are 7 people inside the court and still the question by the prosecutors, and it's including the Kamarudin Simanjuntak. And besides of that agenda, today also another trial that about the obstruction of justice Arif Rahman Arifin. And after the reading and learned the exception, prosecutor actually also denying the exception. And actually the trial is still ongoing, and we will give you another information later. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Aris. We look forward to hearing your next report.
Wow, it's one of the very, very emotional court or trials that we saw today. And also there was a moment where the father of Joshua was asking Putri Chandrawati to take off the mask because he said, I've never seen your full face, because all this time she was wearing the mask every time she was appearing on the media or wherever she came to the court. Whenever she came, she was always, covering for half of the face with a mask. But even though it's very emotional, the mother was crying. The mother was blaming, the boss of her son. Why did you kill my son? At the end of the day, Putri Chandrawati and Sambo himself asked for an apology. They said from the bottom of their heart that they had to do that murder.
Right, and obviously the removal of the mask is, I guess, the parents' way of wanting to know how authentic their apology is, and not that it would change anything.
Yeah.
But again, we're right in the midst of this trial now, and there's just still so much more to come.
True. All right, now we're going for another break.
When we return, though, we're going to bring back Maria, and she'll be delivering some economics and business updates. Maria, what have you got?
Yes, I've got some updates from G20 Summit in Bali. Can you guess what it is?
No, not at all. Electric cars,
It's
maybe?
yep.
Cool. Is it?
It's
Oh,
one of
yay.
them. That's right.
One of the part that you were most excited
I didn't even
about.
look at the script. Perfect.
After the break, yes, as Paul mentioned before, we will take a look at hundreds of electric vehicles for the G20 Summit that have started to arrive in Bali. So stay here only on the 3 Hour News Show on See Today. Don't go anywhere.
Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Here with us on See Today, it's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game on the 2022 IDL semifinals against West Bandit Solo at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day.
Lagi bersama saya Imam Darto di Ngonten ngobrolin tentang Nusantara. Hap hap.
Jangan banyak-banyak, Neng. Santai aja, lapar situ. Orang Malang ya?
Iya, Malang.
Oh, Malang.
Arek ngalam.
Oke, bisa baca bahasa ngalam?
Bisa.
Coba.
Matur suwun.
Wah, cuma segitu saja.
Ya, dia MD. MD-nya ada panjangannya tuh.
Apa tuh?
My Dream.
Welcome back to Theory of Everything. We will round out some of the biggest or craziest theories that have been circulating around the web and then stuck on your head, such as fan theories that audiences have about movies or anything really.
We'll visit massive factories and master craftsmen. We'll experience unique ways in which things are made and even test some of them out. Rock and roll! Needless to say, this will be pretty epic. Oh, wow. I'm Justin Bratton. Join me as I uncover some of the best, the most colorful, and the most innovative bespoke products on the market today.
Longing for a short getaway where you can be away from people but still be productive?
You can! Come down here at Bidadari Island where you can learn a thing or two about the history.
This paradise island is more than just white sands and Tuscan blue waters.
You're not an outdoorsy type? Well, so am I. Don't be dismissive of the idea because
We're gonna get in touch with nature and hopefully have fun while at it. Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Hi, my name is Grace.
Haven't you eaten since morning?
Not yet.
Ada yang harus saya konsumsi nggak ya, Dok? Tarik nafas yang dalam.
Coffee is not an original commodity from Tulung Agung Regency, but Tulung Agung typical coffee is part of the heritage in the era of the Dutch colonial, which brought in for the first time was Arabica coffee from India.
Welcome back to Theory Show on Sea Today, and it's time for some sea business. First from Indonesia, the Indonesian Transportation Minister has inspected the arrival of the biggest container ship in Indonesia, which is docked at the Jakarta International Container Terminal, or JICT, in Tanjung Priok Port, North Jakarta. The biggest container ship to have ever docked in Indonesia carries export goods from the country to the United States and can accommodate 16,020 foot equivalent units.
Here is the biggest container ship in Indonesia, called CMA CGM Alexander von Humboldt, which harbored at JICT Port, Tanjung Priok, North Jakarta. This biggest container ship ever harbored in Indonesia carried export goods from Indonesia to the United States and can accommodate 16,020 foot equivalent units. Transportation Minister Budi Karya Sumadi inspected the container's loading-unloading process for exporting goods from Indonesia to the United States with direct haul system. The minister said, with the trust of operators that send relatively large-sized ships, will further increase the export competitiveness from Indonesia to the United States. He later added that considering with a large number of containers in one ship, will reduce logistic costs and will make the goods sold in cheaper price.
Saya tentu bangga dan bahagia ya. Hari ini hadir di Priok, ada satu kapal yang gede banget ya, kapasitasnya 16.000 TEUs, 16.000 kontainer dengan panjang kapal 400 meter, 4 kali lapangan bola. Apa artinya? Artinya Indonesia makin diminati oleh operator, oleh perdagangan internasional dengan memberikan satu kapal yang relatif besar yang melakukan direct call ke Amerika Serikat. Artinya lagi bahwa dengan kapal besar dan direct call, maka logistik cost yang kita tanggung itu semakin murah. Sehingga daya saing daripada Indonesia untuk mengirimkan barang-barang itu akan lebih mudah.
Indonesia is a very important country for us. We consider Indonesia as a strategic country. CMA-CGM Group is operating actually in 160 countries around the world, but we have only a couple of that we consider as strategic, and CMA-CGM is one of them, and Indonesia is one of them.
Minister Budi also added that this opportunity must be utilized by related stakeholders by continuing to improve service. The ministry will also consolidate in collecting exported goods into two primary ports, namely Tanjung Priok and Patiban ports, to ensure the export with direct call system in large quantities can be implemented. C2day contributor reporting from Jakarta.
Still from Indonesia, now we've got an update from G20 Summit in Bali, where hundreds of electric vehicles for the summit have started to arrive. These eco-friendly vehicles will be used to escort VVIP world leaders and delegates. Several electric cars and motorbikes were temporarily parked at Nusa Dua area near the Indonesia Tourism Development Corporation, or ITDC, until the G20 presidency event. Bali Regional Police Deputy Head Brigadier General Iketut Suwardana earlier said that 88 electric cars will be used to escort VVIP world leaders and delegates under the military headquarters coordination. Meanwhile, 96 electric motorbikes will be dispatched to secure the area of the summit.
Nanti untuk gelarnya dilaksanakan tanggal 7 ya, 7 November.
Ya,
itu oleh Kapolri,
Kapolri
ya. Nanti informasi di Renon. Tanggal 8 oleh Bapak Panglima TNI.
Terpadu
ya.
Dalam rangka ini operasi
mobil sudah ada semua. Mobilnya ada 88, kendaraan bermotor ada 96 ya. Itu sudah kami backupan semua di level rank 1 pas Pampres itu. Kita kolaborasi semuanya. TNI, Polri, pemerintah daerah dan masyarakat pun juga bersatu padu untuk mensukseskan daripada.
Talking about electric vehicles, I've got advantages if compared to the usual ones. So electric vehicles have no fuel required, so you will save money on gas, and it's environmentally friendly, and it's slower maintenance due to an efficient electric motor, and of course, better performance. Moving on to another story, Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, has been planning to revamp Twitter Blue subscription, which would mean that users are required to pay an extra monthly fee. Meanwhile, according to The Verge, employees are in danger of dismissal if they fail to meet the deadline for the new features launch on November the 7th. The new Twitter Blue is set to provide additional features, including verification. Once it takes effect, verified users will have 90 days to subscribe to the $19.99 new monthly plan. Failure to subscribe will leave the user losing his or her verification status. The optional premium subscription currently costs $4.99. The Verge reported that Musk would like to see subscriptions make up half of Twitter's overall revenue. Meanwhile, the editor-at-large of TechCrunch, Mike Butcher, predicted that Elon Musk will likely introduce new kinds of features and business models.
He doesn't have much choice because he's bought it at a premium. He's bought it at over the odds, $44 billion. It's a loss-making platform. If he wants to throw all of that money away that he's just spent, then he's got to kind of introduce new kinds of features and business models, but that won't happen overnight. And also that's how he's going to square that with some of his public statements about, taking off the reins and letting the bird free, etc., which is making advertisers nervous as well. It's yet to be seen how he's going to square that circle.
Wow, we're so looking forward to this coming of the new Twitter, Blue Twitter, and of course its business model. And those were the economics and business updates for this hour. When we return, Paul will bring you the latest from the world of sports.
Hey buddies, welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk with me, Paul Palelli. Let's say hello to Bebo and the Buds. Hey guys! Oh, this is your assistant, Trey.
Hi, my name is Paul Palelli. For us,
going like solo right now is like a refreshing.
I'm actually not good at acting because I'm too real.
Well, it's time for another buddy challenge. It's the only word I know.
What makes a new place feel like home? I always believe it's about the people and the community.
I love the tomato sauce. This is what I always say, the dish of signature.
And food often the best way to connect them all.
Ooh, this one really good.
Restaurants, for me, is the beating heart of a city. That is why I love exploring new places. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on Sea Indonesia.
Siapa sejak dini untuk masa depan. Arasnya sangat visi-misi.
Visioner, bukan visi misi. Kalau visi misi, visi foya, misi foya, visi misi, foya foya. Oh, digambar cakep, Sel.
Digambar ya lumayan.
Tapi
lumayan jelek.
Ngeselak keluar.
This is me crying out loud, whatever.
Wow, look at this. My shoes, guys.
On football's greatest stage, the gods of the game have earned their encore. Pelé, Beckenbauer, Cruyff, Maradona. It's the cup of hope. The cup of dreams. It's football's biggest prize on the greatest stage of all.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Shield us to see today. It's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game of the 2022 IDL semifinals with West Bandits Solo at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day. Hi, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show. It's time for your first sports update of the afternoon, starting with some basketball news. The Indonesian women's national basketball team has won the inaugural edition of the 2022 Sea Women's Basketball League after they defeated Thailand 65-56 to claim Game 3 in their best-of-3 series.
Now it's a 12-point lead.
Indonesia won by a score of 51-49 in the first game of the series last Saturday, but lost by a score of 63-59 in the second game that was held one day later. Yesterday's decisive game ended with the Indonesian elite scoring a 65-56 victory. Many have considered this victory as good preparation for the country's national women's basketball team ahead of the upcoming 2023 SEA Games. The previous edition of the tournament, which was held in Vietnam, saw Indonesia bring home the silver medal.
Again, Ayu on the block. Pass the ball inside, finding number 88 with a nice finish inside.
More basketball news for you, this time out of the NBA. Drew Holiday sank a tie-breaking three-pointer with 45.3 seconds remaining in the game to finish with 25 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds as the Milwaukee Bucks edged the Detroit Pistons 110-108 on Monday night to remain unbeaten.
First half. Yes, he did. How about a three?
Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 31 points, while Brook Lopez had 24 to help the Bucks remain as the league's only undefeated team at this point of the season. For Detroit, Cade Cunningham scored 27 points, while Bojan Bogdanovic added 23. Although they never led, the Pistons did rally from a 16-point deficit to tie the score at 105 apiece. All this came when Cunningham found Isaiah Stewart under the basket with 57.6 seconds left. Holiday then answered by sinking a step-back 26-footer on Milwaukee's next possession. And after Cunningham missed a shot that would have cut the Bucks' lead to 108-107 with about 35 seconds left, Detroit had one more chance when Bogdanovic stole the ball from the driving Antetokounmpo with less than 15 seconds remaining. Jaden Ivey finishes this one with 19 points, while Hamidou Diallo had 13. Stewart finished with 11, and Sadiq Bey had 10 for the Pistons. Meanwhile, for the Bucks, Bobby Portis had 15 points and 12 rebounds. Without Chris Middleton even, this Bucks team is looking very unstoppable earlier on in the season. Additionally, Giannis Antetokounmpo was also named as Eastern Conference Player of the Week on Monday. The two-time MVP averaged 35.7 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.7 blocks in the Bucks' 3 games last week. Let's see how long they can keep this up. More from the NBA now, this time out of the West Coast, where Paul George hit a go-ahead jumper with 6 seconds remaining to finish with 35 points as the Los Angeles Clippers narrowly defeated the Houston Rockets 95-93 on Monday night to snap a 4-game losing streak. George's three-pointer tied the game at 93 apiece with 39 seconds remaining, and that had their fans on their feet for the closing moments of the game. Ivica Zubac added 16 points and 12 rebounds, a nice tidy double-double for the Clippers, who had to play without Kawhi Leonard and John Wall. Leonard missed his 5th game, and John Wall sat out his 2nd, both due to knee issues. KJ Martin scored 23 off the bench to lead the Rockets, who are now at 1-8. Dropping their 4th in a row. Well, with the Clippers yet once again facing another demoralizing loss to a lottery-bound team, it was Paul George who backed up his vow to play better by delivering a massive Halloween performance, complete with a winning shot to stun the Houston Rockets. As mentioned, George almost finishes with a triple-double, just 1 rebound and 2 assists short. He had 6 steals in this one, 2 clutch shots in the final 40 seconds to lift the Clippers to a relieving 2-point victory at Crypto.com Arena. Now, over the past 25 seasons, only James Harden, back in 2019, has matched the stats that George put up in Monday's game, according to ESPN Stats and Information Research. And the Clippers, now at 3-4, still under 500, needed every bit of George's dominant line to beat the Rockets and snap their own 4-game losing streak. Now, Kawhi Leonard out for a 4th straight game and set to miss the Clippers' next 2 games at Houston and San Antonio. George was staring at a likelihood of another extremely disappointing loss. The Clippers lost twice at OKC last week and had averaged just 97.5 points in their 4 previous losses, dropping those games by 17, 14, 8, and 21 points respectively. Now, they struggled to start the season under championship expectations. Leonard has only played in 2 games, limited minutes so far off the bench. John Wall was held out again at a 2nd game of back-to-back due to minutes restrictions as well. So it's great to see that George had a big game, looking for another one as they have a rematch with the Rockets on Wednesday in Houston. Let's move on to some tennis news now, as Maria Sakkari could not help but strike a wide smile after taking a pair of tiebreakers to edge Jessica Pegula across more than 2 hours of big-hitting baseline action in front of a limited crowd on Monday as round-robin singles play began at the WTA Finals. Maria Sakkari opened her account in the Nancy Ritchie Group at the WTA Finals with a hard-fought victory over Jessica Pegula in Fort Worth, Texas on Monday. The Greek, who was seeded number 5 in the tournament, completed a 7-6 and 7-6 victory over her 3rd-seeded American opponent in 2 hours and 14 minutes, as well as exacting some revenge for her defeat in the Guadalajara Open final by Pegula just a week ago. All right, let's move on to some international football news as Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso welcomed the World Cup trophy at the government palace and also dedicated a few minutes to the national team. Ecuador will feature in the curtain raiser of this year's World Cup when they take on hosts Qatar on November the 20th. The event is part of a world tour that takes the trophy to 54 countries.
Es motivo de gran satisfacción recibirlos en el Ecuador en este recorrido que hacen presentando la Copa en 54 países, entre ellos los 32 que iremos a jugar el Mundial de Qatar. La Copa FIFA es el mayor símbolo del triunfo, reservada solo para los campeones del rey de los deportes, el fútbol. Es un honor poder tenerla aquí, sin duda, junto con los Juegos Olímpicos, el Mundial de Fútbol, es el mayor evento deportivo del planeta.
Sports for this hour. When we return, we're going to have more information for you coming up, so stay with us here on the 3-Hour News Show. We'll be right back after this.
Pagi bersama saya Imam Darto di Ngonten ngobrolin tentang Nusantara. Hap. Wih, jangan banyak-banyak, Neng. Santai aja, lapar situ. Orang Malang ya?
Iya, Malang.
Oh, Malang.
Arek ngalam.
Oke, bisa bahasa ngalam?
Bisa.
Coba.
Matur suwun.
Wah, cuma segitu saja.
Ya, dia MD. MD-nya ada panjangannya tuh.
Apa tuh?
My Dream.
Welcome back to Theory of Everything. We will round out some of the biggest or craziest theories that have been circulating around the web and then stuck on your head, such as fan theories that audiences have about movies or anything really.
Longing for a short getaway where you can be away from people but still be productive?
You can! Come down here at Bidadari Island where you can learn a thing or two about the history.
This paradise island is more than just white sands and Tuscan blue waters.
You're not an outdoorsy type? Well, so am I. Don't be dismissive of the idea because
We're gonna get in touch with nature and hopefully have fun while at it. See the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Hi, my name is Grace.
Haven't you eaten since morning?
Not yet.
Ada yang harus saya konsumsi nggak ya, Dok? Tarik nafas yang dalam.
We'll visit massive factories and master craftsmen. We'll experience unique ways in which things are made and even test some of them out. Rock and roll! Needless to say, this will be pretty epic. Oh, wow. I'm Justin Bratton. Join me as I uncover some of the best, the most colorful, and the most innovative bespoke products on the market today.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Share with us and see today. It's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game of the 2022 IDL semifinals against the West Bandits at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day.
Sejak dini untuk masa depan. Aras ini sangat visi misi.
Visioner, bukan visi misi. Kalau visi misi, visi foya, misi foya, visi misi, foya, foya. Oh, digambar cakep, Sel.
Digambar ya lumayan.
Tapi
lumayan jelek.
Ngeselak keluar.
This is me crying out loud, whatever. Whoa, look at this. My shoes, guys.
On football's greatest stage, the gods of the game have earned their encore. Pelé, Beckenbauer, Cruyff, Maradona. It's the cup of hope. The cup of dreams. It's football's biggest prize on the greatest stage of all.
Hey buddies, welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk with me, Paul Palelli. Let's say hello to Bibo and the Buds. Hey guys! Oh, this is your assistant, Trey.
Hi, my name is Palelli. For us, going like solo right now is like a refreshing.
I'm actually not good at acting because I'm too real.
Well, it's time for another Buddy Challenge. It's the only word I know.
Coffee is not an original commodity from Tulong Agung Regency, but Tulong Agung typical coffee is part of the heritage in the era of the Dutch colonial, which brought in for the first time was Arabica coffee from India.
Hi everyone, welcome to our viewers in Indonesia and across the world. Thank you for joining us on the 3-Hour News Show on C today. And we have the next 3 hours to update you with a lot of information, especially from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and of course, around the world. My name is Rahma Alia, and I'm with Paul Palelli and Maria Harfanti this afternoon. And we're all looking so pink today.
Hi, especially me. Wow, I'm stealing the show.
You are one of those men who actually can fit in that kind of color.
Yeah, thank goodness. I wasn't feeling very confident. Anyway, so happy November, ladies.
Oh, happy November.
Great to be kicking off a brand new month with both of you, as well as all our viewers. Good afternoon as well. It's just past 5 in the PM, excuse me, here in the nation's capital, where we're broadcasting for the next 2 hours to bring you all the latest news and updates. And while we're not connected on the air, you can still follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at C Today News for all the latest updates. And of course, with us today is Maria for the latest from the world of business.
Yes, thank you, Paul. I'm Maria Harfanti. We'll take a look at market and business updates from the country, the region, and elsewhere around the world. But first, let's take a look at what made the top stories for today.
South Korea's police chief on Tuesday admitted a heavy responsibility for failing to prevent the Halloween crowd surge in Seoul that left more than 150 people dead.
We had the privilege of chatting with Telkom Indonesia's President Director about Telkom digital transformation as the pandemic has forced all sectors to adapt in digitalization.
And from the NBA, Drew Holiday scored 25 points and also notched 10 assists as the Milwaukee Bucks narrowly defeated the Detroit Pistons 110-108 on Monday night and remain undefeated on the season.
And later in our signature segment, See the Stories, we'll have with us a maestro of Indonesian pantomime, Septian Dwi Cahyo. So stay tuned for that.
Perlombaan itu tak hanya hari ini, tapi terjadi setiap hari. Perlombaan itu adanya dalam diri kita. Cita-cita berlomba dengan kenyataan. Keyakinan berlomba dengan ketidakmungkinan. Keberanian berlomba dengan ancaman. Lawan bukan untuk mengalahkan, tapi mengukur seberapa sungguh kita ingin menang. Ingin merdeka dari segala keterbatasan.
Kita berlari mengejar mimpi.
Kita harus percaya, digitalisasi mampu memberikan banyak manfaat bagi negeri ini. Digitalisasi mampu membuat kita melompat sejajar dengan bangsa maju lainnya. Karena kita percaya, digitalisasi mampu memerdekakan bangsa ini.
Now, the existence of SOEs is very vital in all aspects of people's lives, ranging from education, health, public health, financial, logistics, and many, many more. And all of these sectors have gone through digital acceleration or digital process, especially during the pandemic. Now, the pandemic has pushed all the sectors to propel through the digital acceleration, and it has gone to a point where it has never been considered before. Now, we have also to acknowledge that at the end of the pandemic, the role of digital acceleration would even become bigger as a primary factor in making sure that we build and prepare the better future. Now, Telkom Indonesia and the subsidiaries have and will continue to strengthen its role as the main operator that facilitates digitalization in Indonesia. And we're very lucky today we have Pak Ririk Adriansyah as the President Director of Telkom Indonesia with us today. And I'm very excited to hear the insights from you, Pak, as the main operator of Telkom Indonesia, the President Director. So my first question is, Pak Ririk, now Telkom has been playing a big role in digital acceleration, especially during the pandemic of COVID-19. We know that everybody was pushed to a point where they have to go through digital adaptation in order to survive during the pandemic, and Telkom played a big role in that. So my first question would be, Indonesia is having a massive economic growth, and we are still trying to reach that goal by 2045 as the biggest economy, five biggest economy in the world. And what are the biggest challenges, though? We still have challenges such as perhaps our readiness in terms of the skills of the people, or maybe collaborations that are still on hold at the moment. I would like to hear your insights first of all, Pak Ririk.
There are some challenges. Let me start. The first thing is actually the connectivity. I think as Indonesia is one of the biggest islands country, providing connectivity to other people is quite challenging and quite costly. So we are supporting the program from the Kominfo to deploy, starting last year, they want to deploy to around 12,000 villages. All over Indonesia. Although that's one of the challenges. Currently, the 4G that we have, Telkomsel covers about 99% of the populations. That's one. Related to the connectivity, there are two more challenges. One is providing the gadget.
The gadgets.
Because of there are families where the gadget is only the father or the mother, but they have 3 kids, but so they have to share the use of the gadget.
That's right.
The third one in terms of the connectivity is also as we learned not during the pandemic, is we need to help them to purchase the data packets, the quota. Because in the normal days, most of them are not really need to buy that quota, but because of the government initiative to have a kind of distant learning, they need to buy quota. So we through Telkomsel, we provide what we call as a special price for the student, but the number must be listed. So because otherwise then it will destroy the market. That's on the connectivity part. The second one is actually the readiness of the people for the digital. I think there are two parts. One is the people who will use the innocent people. Not all of them are actually
literate,
prepared to use the platform.
The gadgets.
The second part is actually digital talent, which we need to further develop the digital platform. What we have is what we have is less than what we need. So that's another one. Another one is in terms of the regulation, those kind of stuff. I think that's also something that we need to take a look and to further supporting the use of the digital search. But I'm a big believer that digital can do a lot for this country.
That's right. So there are still challenges from the connectivity, from the readiness of its people, as well as from the ever-changing technologies that you mentioned. Now, one of the probably things that we need to highlight as well is the digital poverty or the internet poverty. As you mentioned that in Indonesia, people say that it's quite expensive still. So how do you think we can actually try to try to provide more affordable internet access for our greater society of Indonesia. As you mentioned as well, that many people very having its limitations, not only of its gadgets, but also to buy the quota, for example, and now the distant learnings, and also a lot of businesses are now conducted through digital.
Yeah, well, I think the government also have a plan to I think it's going to be launched in sometime in 2024. What they call is a high throughput satellite, HTS. So it's basically providing through satellite, providing via Wi-Fi to all the remote area. The only difference with cellular is Wi-Fi. They must use it whether they put the Wi-Fi in the school or in the county or whatever, but it may not be available at the houses compared to cellular available everywhere. But Wi-Fi is, due to the nature that the coverage is quite limited, so the people must come to that point before they can use it. But in terms of cost, I think it should be much lower.
All right, so hopefully it's going to come in due course in 2024, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Now, it's very much resounded during this SOE International Conference that all of our focus needs to go through the main focus of sustainability and inclusivity in every way that we do. Now, SOEs have been playing a great role in this, especially Telkom as well. And in Telkom, I see that it is going through this business transformation right now. It has become a digital telecommunications company now. But Erik, how far has the process gone so far?
Well, it's still ongoing. We declared the transformation is back in late 2019. So it's been 3 years. So far, so good. It's progressing quite well as what we expect. But of course, it's still from completed. So it's ongoing. If we look at the way that we look at this is can be several ways. One is in terms of the revenue of telecom is also structured. Is the digital revenue is the contribution is getting bigger. Then the other way of looking at this actually is what the people see, what the people feels about telecom, right? One of the achievement that we've been proud of is actually the Peduli Lindungi. Peduli Lindungi is probably one of the biggest apps being used by the people of Indonesia, and that was initiated by Telkom to help the people. So I think those are some of the things. The opportunity is huge, but Telkom cannot do it all alone. We need to be partnering with somebody else. And also, I think the government also need to do something. One of the idea that I have and discussed to them basically, probably the government need to have kind of, I don't know what they call it, but kind of the agent to orchestrating the national digital transformation. Something like that I think need to be. Otherwise, then it's not well coordinated. For instance, if we look at what is happening now, all the government agencies, they keep their own data. Why don't we have a kind of satu data, which I think
data center, big
one. It's not just in terms of the place to store the server, but it's more like because every agency they have their own data, so but it's not well coordinated. For instance, the last time when the government distribution for the support of the people, the poor people, it's not that accurate because of even the data who deserve to can get those funds, it's not accurate. So, but if we have kind of data, satu data integrated, and then we use the data analytics, I think it's really much better. And that's, I think, the best starting point is having kind of satu data for the nation. I think that's going to be going to be great.
We could also some actions have been taken within the government itself, especially in the SOEs. We know that they're streamlining in its holdings as well. And now the big data that you mentioned, or the center of data that is integrated within all the governments as well, would probably enable that to happen as well.
Right.
Hopefully it's going to happen in due course as well. But because we heard that there are a lot of holes that happen just because we are not so communicative into each other because of the data that we have, right? So we want to go back to the first time of the pandemic when it hit Indonesia, March 2020, and Telkom played its role as well, now creating the Peduli Lindungi apps. What kind of lessons do you think that we learn biggest from this pandemic in terms of digital acceleration?
Well, for us, the biggest lesson is actually is that digital is quite important. And I think a lot more things that can be done with the digital. And it's especially when you live in Jakarta, like a virtual meeting, it saves times. Right? We don't have to travel from one point to the point. It takes probably most of the time. But even with the virtual meeting, we can jump from one meeting to another meeting quite fast.
That's right.
Even in some cases, we have a 2 parallel meeting, right? So I think that's the simple way that I think even though the pandemic is hopefully will be ended soon, but we can still do some of those continuing using that to be just more efficient in terms of time, in terms of cost. So I think that is one. The other thing is it's kind of giving us kind of proof what we believe, that digitalization is actually the only way if Indonesia want to kind of leapfrog toward close to the more developed countries in terms of a lot of things, in terms of education, health, so many things. I think going through digital is probably the best way. And if you look at a lot of things like, for instance, education, if you ask with the government to build so many old school, physical school, I don't think it's going to be happen because it's too costly, takes too long. And even if you have the school, then the teacher, a good teacher, might not be willing to work in the remote area. So why don't we use the education platform so that every student, doesn't matter where they live, as long as there's connectivity, they can enjoy the same quality of education with the people who live in a bigger city.
Yeah, that's right. It cuts all the boundaries of geographical, especially Indonesia is 17,000 islands, right? So one of the tasks from Pak Erick mentioning as well that in SOEs is not only it's as a main driver of acceleration, also making sure that it's also wealthy. It can create economic value. So how do you think Telkom can do that, especially in the time around when we are trying to recover from the pandemic? The end of the pandemic is very close to us, hopefully. So how is Telkom going to commence in that?
Well, what we are trying to do for now is actually helping the other company, including SOE or other private company, and also the government, to more utilize the potential of the digital technology. I think that's more. And a lot of value that can be created. Even if you look at the SOE, I think the number of SOE who's really extract the business value from digital is still very small. Only very few of them. If we can do this in a much better way and faster, the potential is huge. The potential for the SOE itself, they can be more productive. They can address probably a bigger market. So there are two ways. Because they can be increasing the potential revenue that they can by accessing a bigger market, and at the same time they can also be more productive, more cost efficient, more transparent. I think we've been working with some of the SOE, and so far the result is quite good. But the challenge is huge because the SOE not at the same level. Some of the maturity level or the readiness. Some SOE they are prepared. They are quite ready to jump to the digital platform. But some is need certain effort to be ready.
That's right. I just reminded by you that you said this geographical obstacles can actually be handled through the digital process, right? So as we know that in Southeast Asia, the digitalization process is very, very fast, and Indonesia is also trying to catch up. But we probably have not quite enough skills for now for our IT people that can actually not only having the digitalization process, but also monetizing this even bigger. And Indonesian people are full of gadgets. They love being engaged in the internet, but they don't know how to make money. So what is, from your point of view, the biggest homework for us right now? Well,
if you, the biggest one is actually is how can we bring to use the digital technology for the SME or MSMEs. I think that's MSMEs, as you well aware that they contributing to what more than 90%, probably 97% of the economy of Indonesia, including the employment also. They provide probably 95-97%. So bring them to the digital is really a big thing that can happen. I know that again the challenge is huge, but the potential is also very, very big. As Eric mentioned, that by 2030, the potential economy, digital economy of Indonesia is more than I think it's 4,500 trillion rupiah, which represent about 40% of the size of the economy in ASEAN market, and the growth is about eight times, and the digital economy of Indonesia is growing about 8 times faster than the GDP itself. So I think the only way, if we want to reach to certain level and close to the developed countries, I think the government must also supporting how can we grab the potential of digital economy as much as we can.
Okay, now I'd like to go to this topic about Telkom Indonesia going through business transformation, Pak Ririk, to become digital telecommunication company. So how far has the process been gone so far?
It's still ongoing. So we are trying to, because telco used to be focused on the connectivity. So we're still going to be doing the connectivity, but we need to do beyond that one. We will, other than what we call digital connectivity, we have the second pillar that we have is what we call a digital platform, which consists of things like data center, cloud, big data, IoT, this kind of stuff. And then the third one is actually what we call digital service. It's, in a simple way, it's probably like application apps. On the some we develop ourselves, but some other we working with somebody else. So from connectivity toward digital platform and then apps or services, we open up the opportunity to have a partner, because we understand that our competence is starting from telco, and then getting to the right is getting less. So that's why we need help of somebody else.
So collaboration is the key in that. Now, in the big umbrella of digital transformation, there's digitization as well. Now, how hard is it? I mean, Telkom is an SOE, and probably it has certain bureaucracy in it. How difficult is it to transform all of the layers inside Telkom to be digitized in this case?
Well, it is also a big challenge, because if we look at the culture of being a telco, telco is always started from technology. Whenever there's a new technology, then we implement them, and then we offering to the customers. So start from ourselves, start from the technology available to the market. Digital is totally different story. Digital start from the customers, because digital we must start from what is the problem that the people have. Or if there's no problem, then what can we do so that these people, we can help them so that their life much easier. So starting from the people, starting from the market, from the customers. So it's totally different. So one of the challenges is, besides adding a new competence to telecom, also switch the mindset, switch the culture that they should be looking at the customer first, instead of themselves. Instead of what, it's not a matter of what can we do, but it's a matter of what they need.
So changing the mindset
Yes.
that it has to come from the insights of the customers, what they
Right.
need,
Yes.
and then we can provide something to them.
Right.
All right, so this is very, very interesting. We also, I want to know your opinion, Pak Ririk. So as part of the SOE ministry, of course, what are Telkom's responsibilities in the current digital system development? And we know that the government is trying to create some kind of an ecosystem that all the stakeholders are taking part in it, not only the government, but also all layers of the society. So what is the role of Telkom itself?
Well, the main role, of course, is being a telco. We provide the connectivity. There are two things. One is that we must fulfill whatever the commitment that we have. The commitment in terms of the telco is commitment to the Cominfo, because we got the license, and within the license there's a certain commitment. So that's that one. Beyond that, we work with certain parties, mainly Cominfo, Bhakti, to further deploy the connectivity to the remote area. With being a telco, our mandatory is, one is that fulfill the commitment. The second one is we must have pay the USO fund, basically, to help the government to deploy in the non-commercial remote area. So that's that one. That's what we responsible. The second part is actually is how can we help the government, help the LC and of the people in general to start to use the digital, so that this country can, like I said before, can be doing kind of reaching the level where it's close to the more developed country in terms of a lot of things like education, health, and a lot of things. So I think those are the two part of the main role of the telecom is connectivity, and then the implementation of digital technology itself.
All right. Now, you mentioned about the startup companies, the SMEs as well. So there are many investments that have had positive impacts on Telkom's financial statements. Are there any special criteria for them, for the startups companies, to receive funds from Telkom?
Yes, our involvement in the startup is at the earlier stage, we facilitate them to have kind of to access to the incubation. But in terms of investment, there is I think there are MDI in Telkom and TMI in Telkomsel, which are doing like a CVC for Telkom and Telkomsel. The main criteria that we always use whenever we need to invest is two things. One is the potential capital gain that they have. The second thing is also as important as the first one, is what are the potential synergy between the startup and Telkom Group, or including with other SOE. So I think that's what differentiates ourselves with the PE or the CV in general. Synergy is quite important.
Okay.
So that's a main criteria. And then in order to do that, periodically we have what we call is a kind of business matching. Business matching between the startup and Telkom Group, and also business matching between the startup and other SOE.
Okay, so you choose startup companies to invest. I mean, aren't you afraid of this bubble startup companies investment? I mean, a lot of companies are now opt for more established companies to put their money in. So why is Telkom choosing this path?
Well, because we fully realize that we cannot do it by ourselves. So we need a startup. And on the bubble side, we mitigate the risk by having the synergy. Because on the capital gain can be up and down, but synergy hopefully is something for real. And the good thing about synergy is, one is it's a real money, right? The second thing is even also accelerate the development of the startup itself. When we provide the access to Telkom Group, access to the SOE, I think that's something that beneficial for both sides. The startup and the investor, and also mitigating the risk of being bubble.
So those are some mutual things that you would like to get from that investment. You said that we have a very big potential. Indonesia has very potentials although we still have a lot of homework as well. So how do you see the potential for Indonesia in terms of its digital acceleration? For example, in 5 years from now, what will we see?
One is the size of the digital economy will be growing rapidly, and second is I think there are going to be a lot of people using digital, not only the social media, but using it for more productive things. And then we do expect that also the SME or MSMEs who's riding on the digital platform is going to be a lot more.
All right, so if you have insights for all of the Indonesian people out there, especially the ones who are watching us right now, as we transform ourselves into more digitalized and also digitized as well, how can we participate in this so that we can achieve that ecosystem, we can achieve that target to become one of the biggest economy by 2045, for example?
Well, it really depends on what you do. Assuming that you one of the SME or the SME, then Telkom together with the SOE Minister Office, we are preparing kind of what we call Sepadi UMKM. Basically, any UMKM who want to sell their product to the. It started with the SOE environment first, but then later on you can also sell it to other community. I think that you can use that one.
All right, so it's beginning from that, and hopefully all of the layers of the societies can also take part, not only the government, the SOEs. So when we do it collaboratively, of course with others as well, we can achieve the target. Pak Ririk, thank you so much for the insights. Thank you for sitting down with me and talk about this digital acceleration, especially in Indonesia. Hopefully, all of the targets, all of the homework can be done accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So that was our discussion with the President Director of PT Telkom Indonesia, Mr. Ririk Adriansyah. Telkom had and will continue to strengthen its role as the main agent for digital transformation here in Indonesia, and hopefully to enable the digital economy soon in our country. And of course, it needs a lot of supports and a lot of involvement, not only from the government and SOEs, but also from all layers of societies in our country, Indonesia. Thank you for watching. My name is Rahma Ali, and I'll see you in other programs. Bye.
Perlombaan itu tak hanya hari ini, tapi terjadi setiap hari. Perlombaan itu adanya dalam diri kita. Cita-cita berlomba dengan kenyataan. Keyakinan berlomba dengan ketidakmungkinan. Keberanian berlomba dengan ancaman. Lawan bukan untuk mengalahkan, tapi mengukur seberapa sungguh kita ingin menang. Ingin merdeka dari segala keterbatasan.
Kita berlari mengejar mimpi.
Kita harus percaya, digitalisasi mampu memberikan banyak manfaat bagi negeri ini. Digitalisasi mampu membuat kita melompat sejajar dengan bangsa maju lainnya. Karena kita percaya, digitalisasi mampu memerdekakan bangsa ini.
What makes a new place feels like home, I always believe it's about the people and the community. I love the tomato sauce. There's this what I always say, the dish of signature. And food often the best way to connect them all. Ooh, this one really good.
Restaurants, for me, is the beating heart of a city. That is why I love exploring new places. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on Sea Indonesia.
Siapa sejak dini untuk masa depan. Aras ini sangat visi misi.
Visioner. Misi. Kalau visi misi, visi foya, visi misi, foya. Oh, digambar cakep, Sel.
Digambar ya lumayan.
Tapi
lumayan jelek.
Hello, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show. Now, this is the second segment of this hour. Now, we've got the first story from Bangkok, where Halloween celebrations returned to Bangkok's famous Khao San Road as tourism resumed following an end to prolonged COVID-19 travel restrictions.
The 2022 Khao San Halloween party fantasy along the road will proceed as planned with extra safety measures, according to the Khao San Business Operators Association and the Bangkok governor.
The Khao San Road is about 400 meters long, and the two-lane road is lined on both sides with shops, food and vending stalls. It is also crowded with pedestrians at night. Khao San Business Operators Association President Sangaruang Watanakul said that Khao San Road accommodated about 50,000 people during the Songkran festival. He assured the public that all the stalls on the road would be removed immediately following the festivities to prevent them from blocking pedestrian access.
Meanwhile, Bangkok Governor Chachart Sittipunt said that he had instructed authorities to increase safety measures at Khao San Road and Silom Soi 2, where Halloween parties are to be held. He added that the city administration has reviewed safety measures for other activities as well, such as at Loi Kratong at Ong Ang Canal, where many locals and tourists are expected. All right, we've got some local updates out of Indonesia, where former Internal Security Bureau head of the Profession and Security Division, Brigadier General Hendra Kurniawan, was dishonorably discharged from the Indonesian police force.
The Code of Ethics trial was held after it was postponed 3 times.
Public Relations Division Head Inspector General Dedi Prasetyo stated that the Code of Ethics trial was held for 10 hours and featured 17 witnesses. The trial, which was led by General Supervision Deputy Inspector General Tornagogo Sihombing, came to 3 conclusions. Hendra was proven to have committed misconduct and was detained for 29 days. He was then dishonorably discharged from the Indonesian police force.
Hendra's trial was postponed 3 times after he fell ill. Meanwhile, a total of 35 personnel have violated the Code of Ethics, and 20 of them were previously on trial. 2 of the 7 obstruction of justice case suspects, namely Senior Inspector Irfan Widianto and Adjunct Senior Commissioner Arif Rahman, have yet to attend the Code of Ethics trial.
Sudah dilaksanakan pelaksanaan sidang HK, ya, dipimpin langsung oleh Wairwasum sebagai pimpinan sidang komisi. Dari pelaksanaan sidang komisi, hakim mengambil suatu keputusan secara kolektif kolegial. Artinya bahwa dari kelima hakim sidang komisi kode etik memutuskan 3 hal. Yang pertama, terbukti bahwa perbuatan yang bersangkutan adalah perbuatan tercela. Yang kemudian, sanksi yang kedua adalah yang bersangkutan ditempatkan di tempat khusus selama 29 hari. Dan itu sudah dilaksanakan. Yang ketiga, keputusan dari sidang komisi kode etik yang bersangkutan di PTDH diberhentikan dengan tidak hormat dalam dinas kepolisian. Jadi itu yang bisa saya sampaikan kepada teman-teman terkait pelaksanaan sidang kode etik Saudara HK yang dilaksanakan pada hari ini.
Now, the trial in the premeditated murder of Brigadier Joshua with Ferdy Sambo and Putri Chandrawati as the defendants continued at the South Jakarta District Court. Today's hearing sees Joshua's father, Samuel Huta Barat, and his mother, Rosti Simanjuntak, giving their testimonies.
And this marks the first time for the victim's family to come face-to-face with Ferdy Sambo and Putri Chandrawati after their son was murdered at the Internal Affairs Division Chief's official residence in Duren 3, South Jakarta last July.
The lawyer for Joshua's family, Kamarudin Simanjuntak, said that the family was ready to attend the trial and give their testimonies. The lawyer brought a pair of blood-stained sandals that allegedly belonged to Joshua, which he will present to the court.
The sandals were obtained from his party's investigation of the case. The items should have been seized by police investigators, but were instead sent to his residence at Sungai Bahar in Jambi.
Persiapannya kita hari ini bawa BB yang masih berdarah-darah.
Oke. Termasuk ini yang sendal yang kemarin yang dibilang atau gimana?
Ini barang buktinya nih lagi kita bawa nih. Jadi karena selama ini kan penyidik nggak pernah kooperatif, kita tanya ini barang bukti di mana nggak mau, kasih tahu ini kita cari nih. Inilah yang diduga dipakai oleh almarhum pada saat pembantaian. Jadi barang bukti yang masih berdarah-darah ya. Barang bukti ini harusnya disita oleh polisi atau penyidik Gedung Polri, tapi karena mereka dari awal tidak kooperatif dengan kita, jadi kita sendiri. Jadi barang-barang bukti ini nanti kita serahkan ke hakim atau ke jaksa di hadapan hakim.
Barang bukti ini dapat dari mana, Bang?
Hah?
Dari mana dapatnya?
Barang bukti ini setelah dicuci diduga oleh Putri Chandrawati atau asisten rumah tangganya dikirim ke Sungai Bahar. Padahal kita cari-cari terus ini. Barang bukti ini terrekod di 1549 CCTV. Ketika dia di waktu yang sama pakai sepatu dan pakai sendal di CCTV rekayasa itu.
It's still going to be a long way until we really find out what actually happened, and yeah, hopefully the truth will actually, appear very soon.
Amen.
All right, we're going for another break.
That's right. When we return, though, Maria will be back to share with you some economics and business updates. Maria?
That's all her. Hi, what have you got?
Yes, I've got some updates, including the arrival of some electric vehicle cars in Bali. So guys, what do you think the best advantages of having an electric car?
Of course, greener, is better for the environment. But I'm wondering, what will we use the car? Cars, a lot of cars, after those nation leaders, being put in them. Maybe if you want to buy the second car
maybe
of that,
it's more worth it.
Yeah,
That's right. Well, it's definitely quieter than your conventional car.
Yes. Of course, we're gonna talk about that. And another story is, have you heard about blue economy? The term is used to describe the sustainable use of, okay. Welcome back. Have you ever heard about blue economy? The term is used to describe the sustainable use of economy. So stay here only on the Triaoni Show on Triaoni Show.
Pagi bersama saya Imam Darto di Ngonten ngobrolin tentang Nusantara. Hap. Wih, jangan banyak-banyak, Neng. Santai aja, lapar situ. Orang Malang ya?
Iya, Malang.
Oh, Malang.
Arek ngalam.
Oke, bisa bahasa ngalam?
Bisa.
Coba.
Matur suwun.
Wah, cuma segitu saja.
Ya, dia MD. MD-nya ada panjangnya tuh.
Apa tuh?
My Dream.
Welcome back to Theory of Everything. We will round out some of the biggest or craziest theories that have been circulating around the web and then stuck on your head, such as fan theories that audiences have about movies or anything really.
Longing for a short getaway where you can be away from people but still be productive?
You can! Come down here at Bidadari Island where you can learn a thing or two about the history.
This Paradise Island is more than just white sands and Tuscan blue waters.
You're not an outdoorsy type? Well, so am I. Don't be dismissive of the idea because
We're gonna get in touch with nature and hopefully have fun while at it. see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Hi, my name is Grace.
Haven't you eaten since morning?
Not yet. Ada yang harus saya konsumsi nggak ya, Dok?
Tarik nafas yang dalam.
We'll visit massive factories and master craftsmen. We'll experience unique ways in which things are made and even test some of them out. Rock and roll! Needless to say, this will be pretty epic. Oh, wow. I'm Justin Bratton. Join me as I uncover some of the best, the most colorful, and the most innovative bespoke products on the market today.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Here with us to see today, it's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game of the 2022 IDL semifinals against West Bandits Solo at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day.
Coffee is not an original commodity from Tulung Agung Regency, but Tulung Agung Tipco coffee is part of the heritage in the era of the Dutch colonial, which, brought in for the first time, was Arabica coffee from India.
Welcome back to the Theory Show on See Today. So, have you ever heard about blue economy? The term is used to describe the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth while preserving the health of ocean ecosystem. To highlight the importance of this matter, the Indonesian National Development Planning Agency, Bappenas, launched the Blue Finance Guideline to support the nation's economic growth. Check it out.
Indonesia, as the second largest seafood and aquaculture producer, highlights the importance of blue economy in Indonesia's economy. Aligned with the understanding, the Ministry of National Development Planning, or Bappenas, launched a Blue Finance Instrument Development Guideline on Tuesday morning. Collaborated with Finance Ministry and the Coordinating Ministry for Maritime and Investment Affairs, the guideline aims to enabling environment and policies raising financial resources. It also highlights potential type of revenues from blue finance as well as the process of blue bond, or known as sukuk issuance.
Bappenas saat ini sedang mempersiapkan roadmap ekonomi biru yang mencakup strategi dan inisiatif Indonesia untuk menyeimbangkan konservasi, pemanfaatan, serta pengelolaan sumber daya dan pesisir secara berkelanjutan. Roadmap ekonomi biru akan menciptakan nilai tambah serta meningkatkan produktivitas ekonomi berbasis kelautan.
As one of the partners, Asian Development Bank has assisted Bappenas in reviewing the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG framework, to analyze the potential gaps. This has been conducted according to the Global Blue Financing Standards.
We have launched last year ADB Blue Finance Southeast Asia hub, which is housed in the Indonesian resident mission of the ADB. I think it is a regional kind of initiative, but Indonesia is being a very important part of this initiative, and we're very much ready to bring in the resources, particularly on the technical assistance side to begin with, as I mentioned in the speech today, in various areas like policy actions, so enabling environment or defining the blue finance, and then also sector-specific taxonomies, etc.
The Blue Finance Guideline will also be used to support blue activities and programs that has been recorded at SDG's Government Security Framework. Rebecca Napitupulu, Lutfi Evan for See Today.
Still from Indonesia, from blue economy, now we're moving on to electric vehicles that have arrived at the G20 summit in Bali. These eco-friendly vehicles will be used to escort the VVIP world leaders and delegates. Several electric cars and motorbikes were temporarily parked at Nusa Dua area near the Indonesia Tourism Development Corporation, or ITDC, until the G20 presidency event. Bali Regional Police Deputy Head Brigadier General Iketut Suwardana earlier said that 88 electric cars will be used to escort VVIP world leaders and delegates under the military headquarters coordination. Meanwhile, 96 electric motorbikes will be dispatched to secure the area of the summit.
Nanti untuk gelarnya dilaksanakan tanggal 7 ya, 7 November. Itu oleh Kapolri ya, nanti informasi di Renon. Tanggal 8 oleh Bapak Panglima TNI. Terpadu ya. Dalam rangka ini operasi. Mobil sudah ada semua. Mobilnya ada 88, kendaraan bermotor ada 96 ya. Itu sudah kami backupan semua di level rank 1 pas Pampres itu. Kita kolaborasi semuanya. TNI, Polri, pemerintah daerah dan masyarakat pun juga bersatu padu untuk mensukseskan daripada penyelenggaraan presidensi.
Environmentally friendly, lower maintenance, better performance. I mean, who doesn't love electric cars? And those were the economics and business updates for this hour. When we return, Paul will again bring you the latest from the world of sports. So stay here only on the 3 Hour News Show on See Today.
Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk with me, Paul Poelli. Let's say hello to Bibo and the Buds. Hey, guys! Oh, this is your assistant, Trey.
Hi, my name is Poelli. For us, going like solo right now is like a refreshing.
I'm actually not good at acting because I'm too real.
Well, it's time for another Buddy Challenge. It's the only word I know.
What makes a new place feels like home? I always believe it's about the people and the community. I love the tomato sauce. This is what I always say, the dish of signature. And food often the best way to connect them all. Ooh, this one really good.
Restaurants, for me, is the beating heart of a city. That is why I love exploring new places. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on See Indonesia.
Siapa sejak dini untuk masa depan. Aras ini sangat visi misi.
Visioner, bukan visi misi. Kalau visi misi, visi foya, misi foya, visi misi, foya, foya. Oh, digambar cakep, Sel.
Digambar ya lumayan.
Tapi
lumayan jelek. Masalah keluarga.
Out loud, whatever. Whoa, look at this. My shoes, guys.
Welcome back to the 3 Hour News Show for another sports update, starting with some NBA highlights and results. Drew Holiday sank a tie-breaking three-pointer with 45.3 seconds remaining in the game to finish with 25 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds as the Milwaukee Bucks edged the Detroit Pistons 110-108 on Monday night to remain undefeated on the season. Giannis Antetokounmpo finished the game with 31 points, while Brook Lopez had 24 to help the Bucks to a 6-0 record and remain as the league's only undefeated team at this point of the season. For Detroit, Cade Cunningham scored 27 points, while Bojan Bogdanovic added 23. Although they never led throughout the entire game, Detroit was able to rally from a 16-point deficit to tie the score at 105 apiece with less than a minute remaining. All this came when Cunningham found Isaiah Stewart under the basket with 57.6 seconds left. Drew Holiday then answered by sinking a step-back 26-footer on Milwaukee's next possession, and that pretty much wrapped the game up after Cunningham missed a shot that would have cut the Bucks' lead to 108-107 with about 35 seconds left. Detroit had one more chance when Bogdanovic stole the inbound ball from a driving Antetokounmpo with less than 15 seconds remaining. Jaden Ivey finishes this one with 19 points, while Hamidou Diallo had 13. Stewart finished with 11, and Sadiq Bey had 10 for the Pistons. Meanwhile, on the other end, Bobby Portis had 15 points and 12 rebounds for the Bucks. More from the NBA, where this time Paul George hit a go-ahead jumper with 6 seconds remaining to finish the game with 35 points, as the Los Angeles Clippers narrowly defeated the Houston Rockets 95-93 on Monday night to snap a 4-game losing streak. Paul George's three-pointer tied the game at 93 all with 39 seconds remaining, which got all their fans on the feet for the remaining seconds of the game. Ivica Zubac added 16 points and 12 rebounds for the Clippers, who were once again without Kawhi Leonard and John Wall. Leonard missed his 5th game early in the season, while Wall had to sit out his 2nd, both of them due to knee issues. On the other end, KJ Martin scored 23 points off the bench to lead the Rockets, who are now 1-8, dropping their 4th in a row. All right, as we head into the top of our final hour of our program, that wraps up our sports segment for now. More for you when we return, including our signature segment, See the Stories. Keep it right here on the 3-Hour News Show. We'll be right back after this.
Pagi bersama saya Imam Darto di Ngonten ngobrolin tentang Nusantara. Hap, hap. Weh, jangan banyak-banyak, Neng. Santai aja, lapar situ. Orang Malang ya?
Iya, Malang.
Oh, Malang.
Arek ngalam.
Oke, bisa baca bahasa ngalam?
Bisa.
Coba.
Matur suwun.
Wah, cuma segitu saja.
Ya,
dia MD. MD-nya ada panjangannya tuh.
Apa tuh?
My Dream.
Welcome back to Theory of Everything. We will round out some of the biggest or craziest theories that have been circulating around the web and then stuck on your head, such as fan theories that audiences have about movies or anything really.
Longing for a short getaway where you can be away from people but still be productive?
You can! Come down here at Bidadari Island where you can learn a thing or two about the history.
This paradise island is more than just white sands and Tuscan blue waters.
You're not an outdoorsy type? Well, so am I. Don't be dismissive of the idea because
We're gonna get in touch with nature and hopefully have fun while at it. See the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Hi, my name is Grace.
Haven't you eaten since morning?
Not yet. Ada yang harus saya konsumsi nggak ya, Dok?
Tarik nafas yang dalam.
We'll visit massive factories and master craftsmen. We'll experience unique ways in which things are made and even test some of them out. Rock and roll! Needless to say, this will be pretty epic. Oh, wow. I'm Justin Bratton. Join me as I uncover some of the best, the most colorful, and the most innovative bespoke products on the market today.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Here with us on See today, it's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game of the 2022 IDL semifinals with the West Bandits Solo at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day.
Coffee is not an original commodity from Tulung Agung Regency, but Tulung Agung typical coffee is part of the heritage in the era of the Dutch colonial, which, brought in for the first time, was Arabica coffee from India.
Hello, welcome back to the 3-Hour News Show on See Today, and for the next hour, we'll bring you the latest stories in our See the Stories segment. Still with me, Rahma Alia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Palelli. All the latest updates, make sure you're following us on our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at See Today News. And also with us is Maria.
I'm Maria Arfanti, but before anything else, let's see what's making headlines today.
South Korea's police chief on Tuesday admitted a heavy responsibility for failing to prevent the Halloween crowd surge in Seoul that left more than 150 people dead.
And in business segment, we had the privilege of chatting with the Telkom Indonesia's president director about Telkom digital transformation as the pandemic has forced all sectors to adapt in digitalization.
And from the NBA, Drew Holiday scored 25 points and also notched 10 assists as the Milwaukee Bucks narrowly defeated the Detroit Pistons 110-108 on Monday night to remain undefeated on the season.
And in our See the Story segment, our signature segment, we'll have with us a maestro of Indonesian pantomime, Septian Dwi Cahyo. You don't want to miss that.
Welcoming to the studio the living legend of Indonesian pantomime, Mas Septian Dwi Cahyo.
Halo Mas Septian.
Halo juga.
How are you, Mas?
Baik.
So, biasanya itu kan seperti misteri ya. Kita menebak-nebak apa sih sebenarnya yang tadi dipantomimkan gitu kan. Jadi tadi sebenarnya temanya apa?
Bubblegum.
Benar ya.
Makanya tadi ada bunyi-bunyinya juga di musiknya ya.
Oke, tapi dari yang tadinya annoying karena nggak bisa lepas, akhirnya lama-lama jadi mainan ya.
Seru. Mas Septian boleh jelasin sedikit untuk yang nggak familiar dengan seni ini, apa sih sebenarnya pantomim? Apa yang ingin disampaikan ke para penonton?
Ya, pantomim menurut saya itu sebuah seni yang menyampaikan pesan, perasaan, atau bahkan kehidupan di atas panggung secara imajiner. Jadi dia hanya menyampaikan lewat gerak tubuh dan ekspresi wajah.
Tanpa kata-kata?
Tanpa kata.
Tanpa properti?
Tanpa
Ya.
properti.
Tapi kalau tadi melihat Mas Septian ya, maksudnya itu kan full of acting ya. Itu actingnya emang udah teruji. Dan memang banyak film-film yang sudah diikuti oleh sama Mas Septian juga gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya seorang pemeran pantomim itu harus punya kemampuan acting kah atau bisa langsung aja terjun ke pantomim?
Kalau kita belajar pantomim, pastinya kita secara detail memahami unsur kehidupan, termasuk ekspresi. Gitu. Ketika kita mempelajarinya, dibawa ke seni yang lainnya lebih mudah. Terutama misalnya acting atau menjadi entrepreneur, apapun selama kita menyampaikan lewat gestur, itu pasti ada hubungannya sama pantomim.
Oke, lalu yang menjadi inspirasi dari Mas Cahyo sendiri apa untuk bertekun dalam dunia pantomim ini?
Kalau saya sih melihatnya seni pantomim sumber kekuatan bagaimana kita membuat ikatan terhadap penonton, gitu. Jadi bagaimana kita secara silent bisa memainkan imajinasi penonton hingga sampai merasakan apa yang kita sampaikan.
Oke, ini sebenarnya mungkin dari yang lain juga seperti ini, tapi untuk saya sih serunya nonton pantomim itu sebagian dari nebak.
Iya.
Ini sebenarnya lagi ngapain ya awalnya.
Misterius.
Nah,
Itu ikatan ini emosi.
Benar. Dan kalau udah ketebak, oh ini itu jadi ada koneksinya di situ. Untuk memilih mau ceritain apanya itu dapat inspirasinya dari mana biasanya?
Biasanya dari kehidupan sehari-hari. Paling tidak yang aktual ya, yang aktual atau yang pernah kita rasakan itu akan lebih lekat dengan penonton.
Soalnya kan itu sebenarnya kan simple, hal yang simple. Makan permen karet, karetnya nyangkut, itu kan hal-hal yang sebenarnya simple tapi dibikin menarik karena kita harus nebak itu apa.
Nah, mungkin yang menjadi PR-nya adalah dari seorang pemeran pantomim itu bagaimana sih membuat kita mau menyampaikan message bubble gum, tapi kan ada tahapannya ya, mungkin seperti apa sih alurnya. Nah itu bagaimana tuh prosesnya?
Pasti kita harus membangun apapun. Apa yang kita mau sampaikan kita harus prolog dulu, informasi dulu gitu dari baru pesan yang kita sampaikan lebih cepat ditangkap orang. Gitu.
Oke, sejauh ini peran yang Mas Septian pernah pantomimkan yang paling unik apa Mas?
Ya mungkin yang campur sama film ya waktu kemarin di Mangkujiwo. Saya kebetulan tidak bisa ngomong. Tokohnya terus bungkuk, nah itu mungkin yang menurut saya yang
challenging juga
ya tantangan buat saya.
Tadi udah beberapa kali disebut oleh Mas Septian bahwa ekspresi itu penting. Seberapa besar sih kepentingan faktor ekspresi muka dalam sebuah pantomim?
Kalau menurut saya dan yang sudah saya amati bahwa ketika dulu kecil ya, saya mengamati para pemain pantomim, terus saya juga belajar ekspresi wajah gitu. Saya lebih gampang memahami orang. Ini orang lagi kesel, orang lagi nggak mau diajak ngobrol, nggak mau diganggu, itu lebih cepat gitu. Dan bahasa tubuh yang paling efektif ya itu body language itu.
Body language.
Yeah. Let's recap a little bit for our viewers that are outside of Indonesia right now, because this obviously is a very unique art form where one must express themselves without words, without properties as well, without any sort of props in order to convey a message. And one of the most fun things for the audience of a pantomime is to actually guess what is happening. And usually you get that right halfway through, right?
And we got it when you did your pantomime just before this one. We got it, it was a bubble gum. But I mean, it's also a challenge for you to make that kind of synopsis or what do you call it? A plot of how do you want to, storyline. How do you want to convey your message from the beginning until the end? It's only a simple, topic.
It's like a short storytelling.
Short storytelling. Tapi yang bikin penasaran sebenarnya dulu kenapa sih inspired bikin pantomim ini? Maksudnya apakah ada orang-orang tertentu atau misalnya Charlie Chaplin yang kita ingat gitu ya? Dan apakah mungkin terinspirasi juga dengan stage performance-nya, dengan muka? Kalau Charlie Chaplin kan mukanya seperti itu ya penampilannya. Kalau Mas Septian gimana?
Sama, rata-rata kita menyukai Charlie Chaplin, dia tanpa bicara, dengan konsep audiovisualnya yang kuat, ekspresi dan gerak tubuhnya yang bagus, lucu, itu yang bisa mendunia gitu ya. Jadi banyak pemain pantomim yang sukanya dengan Charlie Chaplin, termasuk Marcel Marceau, tokoh pantomim dunia itu juga terinspirasi dengan Charlie Chaplin. Dia bikin tokoh Charlie Chaplin di atas panggung, namanya Bip gitu. Nah mulai dari situlah pantomim berkembang dengan unsur yang komedi pastinya, dan akan mempercepat pantomim dikenal di dunia gitu. Sampai sekarang mungkin masyarakat belum banyak yang tahu kalau Mr. Bean juga punya basic pantomim.
Benar. Ya, kelihatan sih kalau Mr. Bean ya.
Karena dia nggak sering nggak ngomong tapi lucu aja. So although Charlie Chaplin was not a founding father of pantomime, but he was probably the one who made it very popular. Inspired. Yeah, that's right. And also inspired Septian, Mas Septian in this case,
to become
pantomime as well.
And you may not know that by watching Mr. Bean, you're probably Rowan Atkinson. He's doing pantomime, right?
He's great.
He's really
By the way,
great
his
at doing-
expressions are amazing. I mean,
Yes,
that's how he
yes.
does it. Mas Septian, ini kalau kita lihat gambar di belakang, ini kenapa kebanyakan kalau kita lihat pantomim, settingnya ada makeup mukanya putih,
Iya,
dan makeupnya
iya.
tertentu. Apakah ini membuat ekspresinya lebih gampang dibaca?
Iya, kenapa harus gitu, Mas?
Ya sebetulnya tidak ada kesepakatan untuk itu ya, bahwa ini jadi simbol aja gitu ya, jadi ikon bahwa pantomim makeup putih, baju garis-garis gitu ya. Jadi sebetulnya bagaimana ekspresi itu tersampaikan lewat gerak tubuh dan ekspresi sudah cukup. Mungkin garis-garis dan putih itu ketika panggung yang jauh, jaraknya jauh.
Oh, jadi kelihatan gitu.
Lebih dominan gitu ya, lebih kelihatan ekspresi yang mau disampaikan.
Jadi penonton paling belakang juga bisa menangkap ekspresi ya. Oke.
So that's the reason, because there's no particular reason why there's a white face or the striped black and white shirt.
Stripy shirt.
Yeah, but that's just a tradition, I guess, that's grown over the years.
Ya, kalau misalnya kita ingat nih di dunia pantomim beberapa waktu yang lalu, maestro pantomim Jamek Supardi baru saja berpulang. Nah sekarang ada Mas Septian nih. Sepertinya Mas Septian salah satu yang paling senior di sini ya. Jangan-jangan bisa kita bilang, iya suhunya pantomim Indonesia nih Mas Septian.
Sebetulnya masih ada beberapa senior di atas saya juga yang masih hidup gitu ya. Ya memang belakangan nggak terjun secara langsung di pantomim gitu ya. Yang tetap menekuni pantomim ya saya aja. Jadi ya sepeninggalnya Mas Jemek, akhirnya saya harus
melestarikan budaya pantomim Indonesia,
mengembangkan untuk generasi muda.
Tapi kalau bicara lestari tadi, perjalanan pantomim di Indonesia seperti apa?
Iya.
Perjalanannya sangat baik, sangat bagus, dan saya mencoba di tahun 2013 bersama Kementerian Pendidikan Kebudayaan untuk mengembangkan seni pantomim untuk jadi lomba seni siswa nasional tingkat sekolah dasar sampai tahun ini.
Oke, jadi dari tingkat sekolah dasar sudah mulai
Sekolah dasar
diajar.
ada lomba pantomimnya.
Oke. Ini kalau kita lihat nih video yang lagi diputarkan, ini adalah tribute-nya Mas Septian untuk
Mas Jemek ya.
Oke, jadi ini apa yang lagi diperankan?
Peragakan.
Ya, seminggu sebelum beliau meninggal, saya sempat ketemu. Dan saya ada rencana untuk bikin pagelaran tunggal 40 tahun berkarya di Jogja. Dan saya kepengen Mas Jemek ikut kolaborasi sama saya. Dan dia sangat antusias, mau banget gitu. Walaupun kondisinya saat itu lagi sakit gitu. Saya bilang, masih sanggup, dengan semangatnya sangat senang, masih.
Hebat ya.
Saya bilang, oke, kita akan kolaborasi. Seminggu kemudian saya dengar kabar beliau nggak ada. Nah ini 100 harinya kemarin dirayakan oleh Rumah Pantomim Yogyakarta dan Dinas Kebudayaan Yogyakarta membuat 100 hari, dan saya wujudkan impian kolaborasinya Mas Jemek. Yang diwakili oleh fotonya Mas Jemek di panggung.
Itu lagi
So what we're watching actually is a tribute that was performed by Mas Septian for a legendary Indonesian maestro pantomime, Mas Jemek Supardi, who had recently just passed away. Now, what we're seeing here, this was in Yogyakarta. This was an 100-day commemoration after his passing. To convey the message that Mas Septian was actually planning to do a collaboration.
That's right. So, and there's the picture of
is
the
represented
past.
by the picture, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, so tadi kita bicara soal perjalanan pantomim ya. Nah kalau misalnya dibilang saat ini nih, bagaimana antusiasme orang-orang untuk terjun ke sini, terutama mereka yang tertarik dengan, ya mungkin sekarang teater udah mulai hype lagi nih. Bagaimana dengan pantomim sendiri?
Kan ada nggak sih kayak program buat anak-anak?
Tadi anak-anak SD sudah mulai ada.
Untuk dipancing, untuk bisa tertarik.
Itu setiap tahunnya pasti ada di lomba seni siswa gitu ya. Tapi di pertunjukan-pertunjukan di panggung atau kegiatan-kegiatan seni sudah mulai hype lagi. Jadi mereka kayaknya acara tanpa ada pantomim kayaknya hambar gitu, nggak seru.
Jadi pada nyariin malah kalau nggak ada.
Iya, terutama penampilnya anak-anak ya. Mereka lebih lucu, lebih imajinatif gitu.
Itu tadi kalau lihat performance-nya, bahkan seorang pemeran pantomim harus bisa squat yang lama ya. Duduk gitu kan.
Jadi harus ada physical endurance juga ya, harus kemampuan untuk bisa mengolah fisik yang kuat gitu ya.
Dan moonwalk harus bisa.
Moonwalk, iya benar.
Tapi moonwalknya luas banget loh Mas. Hebat.
Walaupun nggak sampai-sampai. Jalan di tempat gitu ya. Wow, menarik banget. Jadi sebenarnya kalau misalnya apa yang dilakukan sama Mas Septian, ada nggak sih komunitas?
Ada. Jadi saya dari 2010 mencoba untuk membangun komunitas namanya Indomime, Indonesia Pantomime. Dan di sana saya mencoba berbagi sama semua seniman pantomim untuk mengembangkan pantomim dengan tradisi budaya Indonesia. Gitu. Yang ada di Jogja kembangkan dengan tradisi gaya Jogjanya, pantomim gaya Jogja, yang di Palembang, yang di Bandung, yang dimanapun.
Yang membedakan dari kota ke kota apa? Apakah ceritanya atau stylenya?
Kita punya gerak gestur di tiap kota tradisi daerah-daerah itu berbeda-beda.
Dari gerakannya pun?
Dari gerakannya.
Kayak orang Jawa beda sama orang Palembang, ya. Sama orang Sunda ya lebih apa kulonun gitu ya Mas.
Kenapa harus begini, kenapa harus ini.
Kenapa kalau lewatin orang tua harus agak menunduk gitu ya.
I did not know this. So pantomime is, there's regional differences.
Regional differences, that's right.
By the way we behave, like Mas Septian said, pantomime is based on our daily lives and our daily regular activities. So if you live in Java? Yogyakarta?
From Jogja.
They point differently. They point with their thumb.
With their thumb.
As opposed to their fingers. So that you would have to know how to perform for that region. That's
or maybe from other provinces, then it will be more straightforward, for example, because of the character.
Or even considered rude.
That's true, I would be.
Tapi yang menarik untuk ditanyakan juga, Mas Septian, kalau misalnya orang belajar teater itu kan udah jelas ya ada teknik-tekniknya gitu kan, teknik acting dan sebagainya. Nah kalau pantomim itu gimana belajarnya?
Semuanya pasti ada. Yang penting kita tahu dasar dulu. Ya, yang utama adalah bagaimana kita teliti, detail memahami setiap kehidupan.
Jadi sebagai spektator dulu gitu ya?
Ya, setelah itu kita tirukan, gitu. Dengan melatih teknik geraknya, teknik kebiasaannya, simbol-simbol geraknya. Ketika kita terus ngelatih itu akan lebih mempermudah kamus gerak kita.
Biasanya berapa lama sih durasi performance pantomim itu?
Ada yang setengah jam, ada yang 1 jam. Saya kemarin 1 jam.
1 jam?
Ya.
1 jam itu pasti panjang juga ceritanya ya?
Ada beberapa repertoar, ada sekitar 6.
Kayak medley gitu berarti ya Mas ya? Untuk persiapannya berapa lama tuh Mas? Untuk setiap satu performance gitu?
Satu performance, ada satu yang saya buat dari umur 10 tahun.
Wow, a lifetime of preparation.
Tapi elemen musik memang menjadi padanan harus yang ada di situ.
Kalau saya, tidak semuanya. Ada yang tanpa musik juga, dia bisa berirama gitu. Tapi kalau saya setengah-setengah. Jadi ada momen cerita yang tidak perlu pakai musik karena kekuatan di tubuh dan ekspresi. Ada yang menggunakan musik.
Interesting.
Seru banget.
Yeah, I mean, if you do acting, if you're in Broadway, for example, it's like dancing, singing, acting. But in pantomime, at least you have the basic of acting, and then you know how to express it from especially your face expression. And then after that, sometimes you need music to,
rhythm.
Enhance the expression.
That's right. Enhance the expression and also the movements.
You ready to do some pantomime?
I'm not. We're gonna be the 3 pink pantomimers. I don't know.
Mas Septian, apa rencananya menuju ke akhir 2022 ini, apalagi di dunia pantomim?
Yang pasti saya selalu ingin berbagi sama generasi muda agar tampil pemain-pemain pantomim, seniman-seniman pantomim Indonesia untuk masa depan.
Amin. Kita juga
amin. Kita doakan semoga sukses dan terus lestari pantomim di Indonesia.
Terima kasih banyak Mas Septian.
Terima kasih banyak Mas Septian.
Senang sudah hadir, bisa berbagi.
Ya kalau selama tinggal nih kayak kita mau berpisah gitu, pantomimnya gimana sih?
Iya.
Ajarin dikit-dikit. Tergantung dari daerahnya juga. Ada
di Jakarta deh.
Jakarta gini dah.
Jakarta lebih internasional ya.
I like that. Very Very polite.
We can do that for closing later on, right? Okay. Thank you so much sekali lagi, Mas Septian.
Thank you so much, Mas.
Yeah, so that was our discussion with Mas Septian as the Indonesian pantomime, legend. And also he has hopes that hopefully pantomime in Indonesia can actually grow. More and more people, especially the young generation, interested in it and can actually, make that as a long-run performing arts addition to Indonesia.
Yes.
All right, now see the stories. We'll continue after the break with some information about World Vegan Day. Are you vegan?
I am not.
Depends what day of the week it is.
Oh, okay, you can tell the story later on.
Yes, because today we celebrate Vegan Day, so keep it here on 3 Hour News Show on City Today.
Today's not one of those days.
What makes a new place feel like home? I always believe it's about the people and the community. I love the tomato sauce. This is what I always say, the dish of signature. And food often the best way to connect them all. Ooh, this one really good.
Restaurants, for me, is the beating heart of a city. That is why I love exploring new places. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on Sea Indonesia.
Disiapkan sejak dini untuk masa depan. Aras ini sangat visi misi.
Visioner, bukan visi misi. Kalau visi misi, visi foya, misi foya, visi misi, foya, foya. Oh, digambar cakep, Sel.
Digambar ya lumayan.
Tapi
lumayan jelek.
This is me crying out loud, whatever. Whoa, look at this. My shoes, guys.
On football's greatest stage, the gods of the game have earned their encore. Pelé, Beckenbauer, Cruyff, Maradona. It's the cup of hope. The cup of dreams. It's football's biggest prize on the greatest stage of all.
Hey buddies, welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk with me, Paul Poelli. Let's say hello to Bebo and the Buds. Hey guys! Oh, this is your assistant, Trey.
Hi, my name is Emily. For us, going like solo right now is like a refreshing.
I'm actually not good at acting because I'm too real.
Well, it's time for another Buddy Challenge. It's the only word I know.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Here with us to see today, it's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game of the 2022 IDL semifinals against the West Bandits Solo at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day.
Welcome back to our signature segment, See the Stories. Now, I have a question for my two friends here. Who likes or who doesn't like losing weight? Do you like losing weight?
I don't know. I thought you were throwing a little shade. My suit's feeling a bit tight lately. I haven't been...
No, Paul, you don't need. What about you? You're also very skinny already.
Yes, actually, after giving birth and after losing all the weight from pregnancy, I struggled to keep the weight on. Because my son have started to crawl and he's everywhere. Even though I eat much, I lose weight as well.
Unstoppable son. You guys have to always catch him.
Sure.
All right. Well, I like losing weight, and you know the fact is that by age I started to like vegetables in particular very much.
Nice.
Yeah.
Me too.
You too?
Fruits,
When I was,
vegetables.
Fruits, I liked it from a long time ago. But I mean, vegetables, especially nowadays, I really, really like it.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're changing later in life.
Yes, I didn't realize that it was, actually today is a vegan day, right? I didn't realize I had a bowl of salad for lunch earlier.
There you go.
Very healthy, Alia.
Yeah.
So that's a good start for me. Well, more and more people have become aware of what they consume and the lifestyle they choose to follow. One of them is veganism.
Yes, veganism has been around for quite some time and has even attracted many millennials to choose that path. Today is celebrated as World Vegan Day, so let's have a look to the story behind it.
The world celebrates Vegan Day annually on November the 1st. The day was promoted by United Kingdom Vegan Society back in 1994. The day promotes healthy and eco-friendly lifestyles and raises awareness about veganism and its social, health, and environmental benefits. People have chosen veganism for many reasons, including religious convictions. Many studies agree that a properly planned vegan diet could reduce the risk for chronic degenerative diseases such as obesity, hypertension, and diabetes.
However, many people often mistaken the idea of veganism. Despite having similar notion in forbidding animal consumption, veganism is stricter than vegetarianism. Where they prohibit the use and consumption of all animal products such as leather and silk. So no leather couches or silk for scarves.
Not just
like
in food, but in fashion as well.
Yeah, let me add on to that as well. One of the biggest differences between being vegetarian and being a vegan is dairy products, because as a vegan, you're still, or as a vegetarian, you're still allowed to have milk, butter, or eggs, whereas as a vegan,
veganism,
nothing that is derived from animals whatsoever or byproducts. Now, there's one more distinction that I would like to make, is that since we're talking about Vegan Day, many people think if you want to be a vegan, you have to be a vegan. That's it. You have to lock it in for the rest of your life. You have to commit every day.
You can go back and forth.
Falter.
Yeah,
I've had vegan friends who suggested to me, why don't you just go vegan once a week? And what it does is it gives your body a chance to...
detoxing your body,
that's
right?
what I do,
Because meat does take time to process, extra time, and you want...
Especially red meat.
Correct.
Very challenging to digest.
It was really eye-opening when several open-minded friends of mine who were vegan or vegetarian, they just said, just do it once or twice a week. You'll feel better. Don't feel don't feel bad if you eat meat. Like,
but people go to a certain extent where they really want to appreciate the animals' rights, for example, rights for life,
and that's
for
fine.
Happiness,
that's totally okay as long as people don't feel like they're a failure. See, a lot of people look at this not as a lifestyle but as a diet, and that's when you have failures and people feel bad if they fail. They don't want to commit to it ever again. And I like to just make that distinction because I think it's important for people to know that, hey, you can just try it, and if you enjoy it, you can continue it.
I really like the idea of once a week vegan. Because veganism means anti-inflammatory.
Exactly.
Diet.
That's pretty much what I do with my diet. I'm flexitarian, but every couple times a week. Yeah, I'm very flexible.
I like
couple days a week, I always stick to plant-based just to clear out my system a little bit, do a little bit of fasting.
And on the other day, you eat everything fat.
And then I have steak the next day. Just kidding. So as we know, the vegan lifestyle has become more popular over the past several years, and due to the renewed focus on plant-based foods, this lifestyle is believed to be able to maintain a person's overall good health.
That's right. Despite its increasing popularity, there are still much about veganism that people do not fully understand. So let's take a look at some of the myths and facts about this lifestyle.
The first is being a vegan is hard. While many say that it depends on socioeconomic circumstances, the reality is that living a vegan lifestyle is now easier than ever before. Nowadays, there are many restaurants serving vegan-friendly meals. People can also find many vendors selling ready-to-eat vegan meals or cooking ingredients that will be delivered straight to your doors. Now, people can easily become a vegan as long as they are committed to this lifestyle. The next is vegans will have a hard time getting enough protein. So far, protein has always been synonymous with meat, so some people are worried if they become vegan, their protein intake will not be fulfilled. However, plant-based protein can also fulfill our daily protein intake. Vegetable protein usually contains more fiber and less saturated fat, so it is very good for the heart. There are many sources of plant-based protein that you can choose from, such as nuts, soy products, and whole grains. And the last is vegans do not need dairy products to get calcium. Green vegetables such as kale have been shown to have as high as calcium content as cow's milk.
I want to add on to one of those facts/myths earlier in regards to protein. I know some people like myself love going to the gym, and one of the worries is, yes, not getting enough protein intake. However, do remember that 1 gram of plant protein does not equal 1 gram of meat
animal protein.
Animal protein. I mean, obviously there's not more substance or sustenance and density in animal protein, so you would have to eat more, whatever you're consuming, whether it's pea protein or casein protein, whatever it is, you might have to up the amount. But the good news, if you're plant-based, you don't get filled up too quickly. Do you ever notice that? If you have a salad, you can actually have a lot more of it. So there's an upside of going vegan. You can eat a lot more.
Yay! But actually, vice versa, Paul. There's actually a plant protein that doesn't have as much as vitamin in animal protein, like zinc and iron.
Correct.
That's why many vegan, vegan eaters, they have multivitamin.
Correct. Just a supplement.
Yes.
That's right. Good point.
You're an expert in this. I mean, both of you. I just want to point out something, which is our origin here in Southeast Asia. We have a lot of salads, and especially if you're going through the veganism. At one point, you don't want to consume anything that is dairy products, right? Now, salads in Southeast Asia, usually they don't have any dairy product based in their sauce, for example. We don't use mayonnaise, we don't use cheese, or, I don't know, cream or anything like that. So, yeah.
Right. And,
what is it? And these several salads from our neighboring countries may also look familiar to us Indonesians. Let's find out more here.
Thailand's green papaya salad, or som tam, can be considered a Southeast Asian tradition. This salad, which offers a fresh taste, features slices of young papaya mixed with ebi, squirts of lime, garlic, and chili. The word tam means grown in the Thai language. The salad was given its name based on how it's prepared, using a mortar and a small wooden pestle to pound several ingredients. The salad has such a fresh taste that it can be enjoyed at any moment, either as a side dish or even snack. We also have another salad from Thailand. This time, it's pomelo salad, or known as yum som o. This dish comes from the northern part of the country. Unlike the som tam, the main ingredient here is not papaya, but shredded grapefruit. Yum som o is different in that it rarely makes use of lime or tamarind. The taste, however, rivals the som tam. And last but not least is an exquisite salad, whose main ingredients is fried catfish. The dish also features slices of sour mangoes, some chili, onions, lime extracts, sugar syrup, and fish ketchup. The savory, crunchy taste of the catfish mixed with the sour taste of the mangoes will surely leave you wanting more. If you do wish to prepare these dishes, all ingredients can easily be found in Indonesia. Try it yourself.
All right.
They look amazing.
Real quick, favorite salads?
Pomelo salad.
Ooh. Good choice.
Just like we saw.
Yeah, I love it.
I love a Caesar salad.
Caesar, oh, good old Caesar.
Yes.
I have a favorite Eastern and Western. My favorite Western salad would be a Waldorf salad.
Waldorf.
What is it?
Apples, celeries, walnuts, grapes, sometimes on a bit of lettuce.
Very refreshing.
Yeah, and what's even more refreshing is my favorite Eastern salad, which is the Vietnamese salad.
Yeah, I love it too.
That.
Yeah, Vietnamese salad.
Lots of veggies, a little vermicelli.
Yep.
Getting me hungry.
A little sour sauce.
Yes, perfect.
So good.
good.
Amazing. We can't stop talking about food, huh? But see, the stories will continue after the break to talk about food. Don't go anywhere.
Pagi bersama saya Imam Darto di Ngonten ngobrolin tentang Nusantara. Hap, hap. Wih, nggak banyak-banyak, Neng. Santai aja, lapar situ. Orang Malang ya?
Iya, Malang.
Oh, Malang.
Arek ngalam.
Oke, bisa baca bahasa ngalam?
Bisa.
Coba.
Matur suwun.
Wah, cuma segitu saja.
Ya, dia MD. MD-nya ada panjangannya tuh.
Apa tuh?
My dream.
Welcome back to Theory of Everything. We will round out some of the biggest or craziest theories that have been circulating around the web and then stuck on your head, such as fan theories that audiences have about movies or anything really.
Longing for a short getaway where you can be away from people but still be productive?
You can! Come down here at Bidadari Island where you can learn a thing or two about the history.
This paradise island is more than just white sands and Tuscan blue waters.
You're not an outdoorsy type? Well, so am I. Don't be dismissive of the idea because
We're gonna get in touch with nature and hopefully have fun while at it. See the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Come see the beauty only on See Indonesia.
Hi, my name is Grace.
Haven't you eaten since morning?
Not yet.
Ada yang harus saya konsumsi nggak ya, Dok? Tarik nafas yang dalam.
We'll visit massive factories and master craftsmen. We'll experience unique ways in which things are made and even test some of them out. Rock and roll! Needless to say, this will be pretty epic. Oh, wow. I'm Justin Bratton. Join me as I uncover some of the best, the most colorful, and the most innovative bespoke products on the market today.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Here with us to see today, it's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game on the 2022 IDL semifinals against the West Bandits Solo at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day.
Coffee is not an original commodity from Tulung Agung Regency, but Tulung Agung typical coffee is part of the heritage in the era of the Dutch colonial, which brought in for the first time was Arabica coffee from India.
Welcome back. You're still with us here on See the Stories. Time to have a little bit of fun. Let's play a traditional game. I've never played it as a kid, but you both have, so let's just teach the audience how to do it. Now, we're going to play the game today with the theme of Vegan Days. Now, some of you may be familiar with this game because 90s kids would call it ABC Lima Dasar, correct?
My favorite when I was a kid.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so real simple. This is how we play the game. We, at the count, at the same time, we're going to put out various numbers of fingers using one or two hands by saying ABC de Lima Dasar. We will then count how many we have in total fingers out, and we will relate that to what alphabet it lands on in the numerical or the letter alphabet. And then we will try start naming either fruits or vegetables that start with that letter. You guys ready?
Yes. Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm so not ready here. Okay, let's try. The first round, we're going to play 4 rounds. The first round is going to be fruit. Okay?
Okay.
So, A, B, C, D, Dasar.
A, B, C, D, E.
E, go.
It's a...
Eggplant.
Oh,
no,
good.
no, that's not fruit.
It's fruit, right?
Fruit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's difficult.
We got a bad one already to start.
Yeah. What is it?
Excellent oranges.
No, it doesn't apply.
Extra apple.
I was about...
Okay.
And...
All right. The one who doesn't get it, which obviously is all of us, will have to mark our own faces. There you go.
Okay.
I'm not going to get it.
I didn't get it.
Fruit with an E. not going to get it. There we go. Nice.
Okay.
There.
That one is difficult. E is challenging.
E is too challenging.
Makeup artists cannot stand looking at this right now. I need to even that out.
Do not do that.
Okay, can you call it the next one? We're going to do vegetables this time.
We're gonna do
Okay.
vegetables.
ABC 5 dasar. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Grapefruit.
It's a fruit, right?
Yeah, grapefruit. Vegetables.
Ah, vegetables. Aha.
Oh, it's vegetables.
Green beans.
Ginger.
Wow.
Ginger?
Yeah, ginger.
Okay. It's
Okay.
Makeup time.
Makeup time.
Hey. Oh,
You
nice.
look
Forehead.
beautiful. Don't worry. You look beautiful.
You can count it.
Okay, now the third round.
We'll go
Let's,
back to fruits.
we'll go
Okay,
Going
to
back to fruits. Fruits was easier.
Ready?
Yep.
ABC 5 dasar.
Ooh, hard one.
Ooh,
One
it's a
A,
J.
15.
K, L, M, N, O.
Okra.
Orange.
Okra.
Oh, it's vegetables?
Fruit, fruit.
Oh, fruit. Orange.
Okay.
Orange. Oh. What?
Oh.
What is it?
Well, producers are trying to help you out, except I still don't
I didn't
understand.
get it. I didn't get it. Oh my God.
Olives.
Olives.
Yeah, olives.
Yeah.
count?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fruit.
Oranges. Oh,
No,
yeah.
she said
Oh, that,
oranges.
you
Orange,
said
yes.
it. Blood orange.
There you go,
No,
madam.
that's B.
Okay.
I believe you need a
lost.
little touch-up.
I do need a little touch up on this side.
Nice. I like you're going all out there. Okay. Last round. Back to vegetables. Here we go. A, B, C, D, dasar.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
H, I, J, K, L.
L. Lemon.
Lime.
Oh, is lemon?
No,
veggie?
it's
Lemon
fruits,
grass.
right?
Fruit. Okay.
Fruit or vegetables? This time.
Fruits.
Fruits.
No, we did fruits. So
Lemon.
Oh,
lemon.
it's
Lemon.
no.
so lemon is okay.
So,
No.
yeah, lemongrass.
Back to vegetables.
Yeah,
Oh, good. All right. Go back to you.
Lettuce.
No, that's a-
Lettuce.
Lettuce. That's
Yeah,
a good one.
she gives.
Oh, I can't think of another one with an L. What other vegetable? Can somebody help me out here?
Yeah, this is a
Don't you like the game?
Some letters are challenging, right? It's very
No,
challenging.
I realize how little I know about vegetables and fruits.
Same. I mean, it's got.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the internet, lettuce, and that's about it.
Maybe
There's
you should
no L.
increase
No more.
your veganism. 2
Yeah,
days.
yeah. I'm
days.
horrible. I should do it every day of the week. All right. Well, I guess that just about wraps it up for our game here. But I hope you were able to learn a little bit more about veganism
Yeah.
and makeup.
Okay, now after we talked about veganism, now fast food chains these days are dominated with less healthy options.
That's right. Here in Indonesia, however, there is a myriad of traditional food with various flavors that are in fact healthier than fast food. And here are some Indonesian food that are rich in nutrients.
We begin with the infamous gado-gado. Not only is it healthy, but it's also budget-friendly, and you can eat it at any time. Gado-gado is made of a mixture of boiled long beans or green beans, spinach, potatoes, eggs, cucumber, bean sprouts, and fried tofu, drizzled with a sweet and spicy peanut sauce over top. The vegetables contain vitamins, minerals, and are also rich in antioxidants and dietary fiber to maintain one's healthy eating habits and body.
Next is Indonesian noodle soup or soto. This food is so popular and available in every corner across the country. Usually, the recipe consists of broth, meat, and vegetables. Now, in addition, soto is combined with spices and vegetables that are rich in antioxidants, vitamin C, and also vitamin E. It also has calcium, which can improve blood circulation and is good for the digestive system. And especially, it's also very yummy.
Yeah, rainy day, perfect for soto, right?
Yes,
Like if it's
agree.
raining.
And last but not least is karedok, originating from West Java. This food is rich in nutrients and vegetables, and the recipe includes cabbage, peanuts, bean sprouts, and cucumber doused with a savory peanut sauce. At a glance, karedok might look similar to gado-gado. The only difference is that karedok usually uses raw vegetables, while most ingredients in gado-gado are boiled or cooked. So, as you know, karedok has pure vitamins and nutrition.
I had
My
no idea
favorite
that's
as
the
well.
difference between, because I've always asked people, what's the difference between gado-gado and
Gado-gado,
karedok? And they're like, oh, slightly different ingredients, but I guess the preparation
it's the way,
is
yeah,
different.
you prepare it.
It is different.
I can't take you guys seriously with that makeup on your face. by the way.
Taste-wise, karedok is more refreshing than gado-gado. Gado-gado has a lot of peanuts,
sense.
more peanuts in it.
Yes.
That makes sense. I love them both,
I like
though.
karedok better.
Yeah. Especially the spicy one.
All right, we're going to get prepared for the end of the show by ordering some food, but first we need to take a break in order to do that. But we'll be back with your daily dose of entertainment news coming up next.
Can we?
What makes a new place feel like home? I always believe it's about the people and the community. I love the tomato sauce. This is what I always say, the dish of signature. And food often the best way to connect them all. Ooh, this one really good.
Restaurants, for me, is the beating heart of a city. That is why I love exploring new places. Follow me while I'm visiting the most exciting eating places around cities only on Sea Indonesia.
Disiapkan sejak dini untuk masa depan. Aras ini sangat visi-misi.
Visioner, bukan visi misi. Kalau visi misi, visi foya, visi misi, foya. Oh, digambar cakep, Sel.
Digambar ya lumayan.
Tapi
lumayan jelek. Masalah keluarga.
This is me crying out loud, whatever. Whoa, look at this. My shoes, guys.
On football's greatest stage, the gods of the game have earned their encore. Pelé, Beckenbauer, Cruyff, Maradona. It's the cup of hope. The cup of dreams. It's football's biggest prize on the greatest stage of all.
Hey, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk with me, Paul Poelli. Let's say hello to Bebo and the Buds. Hey, guys! Oh, this is your assistant, Trey.
Hi, my name is Poelli. For us, going like solo right now is like a refreshing.
I'm actually not good at acting because I'm too real.
Well, it's time for another Buddy Challenge. It's the only word I know.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to all of you viewers. You're right here from Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and around the world.
Share with us and see today it's time for the first sports update of the morning. Pelita Jaya Jakarta won the first game on the 2022 IDL semifinals against the West Bandit Solo at Gor Citra Arena, Bandung, West Java.
Paul McCartney is among some high-profile fans celebrating widely beloved singer, actor, and humanitarian Doris Day.
Welcome back to the See the Stories. Now it's time for some entertainment, right? We do need to be entertained. Now we begin with K-pop, where BTS's Jin has released his solo single, The Astronaut, which was also a collaboration with British band Coldplay.
Meanwhile, another BTS member, namely RM, is set to release his first solo album this month. Let's have a look.
The Astronaut was co-written by both Jin and Coldplay and marked the second time the K-pop boy band have joined forces with the British 4Ps. They last teamed up on the latter's 2021 song My Universe. In the music video for The Astronaut, Jin hangs out with two kids in suburbia, teaching one how to ride a bike and taking photos with the other. He then encounters a massive spaceship that takes him into outer space. The 29-year-old also performed the new song alongside Coldplay at the band's concert in Buenos Aires, Argentina on October the 28th. After wrapping up promotional activity for The Astronaut, Jin will become the first BTS member to enlist for mandatory military service per an announcement from Big Hit Music on October the 17th. It also mentioned that the boy band have plans to reconvene at full strength by 2025. Besides Jin, RM is set to release his first solo album this month. Previously, K-pop-based media Soompi reported that the BTS leader and rapper will release his solo music album at the end of this month, and that the album is in the final stages of its preparation to be released on November the 25, 2022. However, the final details of the upcoming album have not been revealed yet. BTS official label Big Hit Music also confirmed that RM will be releasing a solo album, and he is currently in preparation. RM will be the third member of BTS to release his first ever solo album after J-Hope, Jack in the Box, and Jin's The Astronaut.
Well, in that collaboration, do you know who started first, whether it was Coldplay or BTS? Who started this idea?
Well, they already had a collaboration together,
yes.
so I guess for this one, I would assume that it was the management of BTS because they're managing their individual careers right now as they're on hiatus.
I think so.
And I think they just say, hey, the first one worked, why not another one? Yeah.
That's true, that's true. They called Chris Martin and say, let's do another collaboration.
Let's do it now.
Did it. All right, now back in Indonesia, the son of celebrity couple Raffi Ahmad and Nagita Slavina, namely Ryanza Malik Ahmad, or popularly known as Cipung, was recently featured on Manchester United's Instagram account at Manchester United.
That's right.
Amazing.
The team's official account posted a video, or reposted a video and photo of Ryanza while he was wearing a jersey of the football club. Let's have a look.
The video of Ryanza and his older brother Rafathar while they were playing in the pool was previously posted on the couple's official Instagram account at Raffi Nagita. Many netizens mentioned Manchester United's account on the comment section upon seeing Ryanza's jersey.
That's right. Now, this obviously caught the attention of the English football club, which then reposted the photo and video several days later. The photo shows Ryanza in a Manchester United jersey while he was accompanied by his mom, Nagita.
Well, this is certainly thanks to Indonesian netizens.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I hope that's an official jersey. Second, no, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But secondly, I'm sure Manchester United, because this was posted a few days later, so obviously they heard about it, they checked it out, they're like,
they checked
wow, they have more followers than me.
That's right. And the power of Indonesian netizens, though.
Oh, I'm sure they got
massive power.
Notifications came in non-stop.
And now they can wear that for swimming.
Yeah.
Not only playing.
These kids are adorable,
Yes.
aren't they?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to some music news now. The biggest rock concert in Solo, the Rock in Solo, was successfully held after a 2-year hiatus. Thousands of metalheads packed the Benteng-Westenberg area on Sunday night.
2 rock bands from America, namely Suffocation and Fit for an Autopsy, were the main performers at the event.
This year's concept featured a touch of local culture with the Raja Mala decoration on the stage.
There were 2 major stages featuring 15 local and international rock bands. Thousands of metalheads, all in black clothing, were seen occasionally crowd surfing or moshing amidst all the loud music.
Fans were ecstatic after the last Rock in Solo was held in 2015. But after what had been a long wait, the crowd was treated to 2 metal bands from the US, Fit for an Autopsy and Suffocation.
Local metal bands also featured. Among them were Nafi Kula from Bali, Extreme Decay from Malang, Lazy Wolf from Yogyakarta, Paranoid Desire, Down for Life from Solo, and Pure Rap.
Do you like metal music, guys?
That's not the type of music that I listen to, but obviously I have heard of this though. There's a couple of really big rock festivals in Indonesia where if you are a foreign band, it's actually something you look forward to playing, and apparently this is one of them. It just hasn't been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Glad to see that it's back.
Yes, that's right.
By the way, you know our president is a big rock fan.
Who?
Our president.
Our president.
President
Yeah.
Joko Widodo. He's a big metalhead himself.
Yeah, I bet he likes Scorn.
Maybe, perhaps.
All right, so that does it for today's episode of the 3-Hour News Show on See Today. And before we go, though, we'd like to remind you again to practice the 3 W's. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and keep your distance.
Yeah, thanks for that reminder, because we do know COVID-19 is still around. So in case you haven't done so, please register yourself for the COVID-19 vaccine or booster shot. And in addition to that, please make sure you're also following us on all our social media platforms for the latest updates. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at See Today News.
Yes, See Today can now be enjoyed in Australia on Foxtel's OTT platform Flash app or in Macau Cable TV channel 84. Or if you're in the Philippines, you can also watch the Converged Visions channel 58 and Singtel Singapore channel 15. Don't forget to also tune in again tomorrow, same time, same channel, and be sure to also catch our morning show every day at 6 a.m. I'm Maria Harfanti.
I'm Rahma Alia.
And I'm Paul Palelli, and we'd like to sign off by saying,
See Indonesia, see the world, see today. Bye.